All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Traversing the Veil. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D campaigns set in my weird, messed up homebrew D&D campaign setting, and the people below me are the people that are going to be playing this game for the last time this year, because I'm going to be doing something special for December, and then we all come back next year. Yay! They're just finding this out, guys. They had no idea, except for the fact that I've been announcing this for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Shock on our faces.
This is how I reveal bad news to people, is I turn a camera on them, and then I broadcast it, because I hope then they won't have as big of a meltdown.
By the way, you're all fired.
Yeah, by the way, I've killed all your characters.
But good news, we've made record profits and experience points.
We've made record profits, and I've decided to replace all of you with ChatGPT, so everybody wins.
Oh God! What if
Getting
they
a
did
little
the
bit too close
What
to
if they
home
did the
there.
inverse of that? Oh my God! Because some people are like, "Oh, the AI dungeon master," ooh, and they're like, "This is fucking stupid." I've seen people do it's goofy stuff. What if you did the DM is the person, but you had 5 Chat GPT players?
I 100%.
That is
that is $1 million video idea right there. Watch someone just rip his hair out as he tries to GM computers. That would be hilarious.
That is the secret sequel of War Games right there.
And to be perfectly honest, Brennan Lee Mulligan has probably thought of it. Announcements, real quick.
Would you like to make your DM cry?
Darrington Press, the publishing arm of Critical Role, have just released their first RPG. It's called Candela Obscura. It is a trip of an RPG. I did an in-depth review. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out, youtube.com/TrainerJody. But overall, I'm incredibly impressed with what they put out. And I've been a little bit worried about this, and I can't remember what the bigger RPG, because this is a relatively kind of short form RPG. They're developing another one that I'm sure Imp knows the name of, right? Damn it!
Daggerheart.
Daggerheart, there we go. They're developing another one that's supposed to be a much more of a long form RPG. And I was a little bit worried about it, because I'm like, oh, how good can it really be? Candela Obscura, it's a good RPG, don't get me wrong, but I think the thing that excites me the most about it is it's a different RPG. A lot of the stuff that they do in there I've never seen done in an RPG, and I collect RPGs now. It's astounding how many times I can open up an RPG and go, oh, this is from that, this is from that, this is from that, and it's just kind of a conglomeration, or it's not even that original. It's just like, oh, this is this RPG with a new paint job. So, yes.
I do apologize. I will be very quick. My timer just went off. I just have to get some laundry from the dryer, but then I will be right back.
Cool. So, anyway, check out, and now everybody has moved. Chax, you are Reggie now. Congratulations.
Yes.
Venus, you're a Rye, so start flirting.
Hit on everything.
And be pretty.
Oh, hey, copy.
Pretty and flirting, that's a Rye. Check out the video, obviously, because I want people to look at my channel. But also, check out Candela Obscura. You can actually, if you go to Demiplane, you can actually get the digital version of it for only $20, which is a really nice price for a brand new RPG. And it comes with their character creator on there. It's a pretty nice system. So, yeah. Other than that, I mentioned before we're doing. I'm going to be running Fabula Ultima. Not next week, but the week after, we'll be having our session 0, and then all of December, I'll be running this Final Fantasy adjacent RPG, and it should be a lot of fun. I've been making a bunch of assets for it, so it'll look pretty. So, yeah, everybody check that out. And then watch Tears of the Realm on Saturday, because it's super fun, and I have a good time doing it, and Jax is there sometimes. And
I missed one
I was about to
episode.
say, when is she not there?
I missed
I call her,
one
hey, what are you
episode."
doing? I'm playing.
And I am so sad and bummed out that you're like, I got on Discord and you're just like, just want to reiterate, guys, because I know I said it, but that was like the best game ever. Okay, thank you so much.
it was
And I
really
like,
fun. We had a lot of fun. Not because you weren't there.
He's saying
but-
because
It's
you
because
weren't there.
I know it's because I
That-
wasn't
he's
there.
saying, he's like,
So
there wasn't
rude.
enough. There was no flirting. There was no.
She
side
doesn't
talk,
flirt
nothing.
as Zariah.
Sassy. No, Zariah's mean.
Yeah,
Oh,
Zariah's
there's
mean.
nobody being-
She's a mean girl.
No, I did.
Mean
If
boy.
if you watch the VOD, I did have to
I
do
can't
it.
watch the VOD because it's not up.
I
I've been
will
trying
talk
to
to
watch
Elias.
it for a week.
I will talk to Elias.
But it's so good. I want to know.
There was something because they were dealing with looking for a rel and things like that, and so obviously they wanted to ask Zariah, how do you find a rel? And I'm like, Zariah's very tight-lipped right now, and she's probably going to remain tight-lipped for the next 2 hours. But eventually I had to give some information that only Zariah would know, so I did an impression of you doing Zariah, and I don't know if it was very good, but
Oh, what is it? I gotta go watch. Shoot.
it was fun. I had fun. So yes, Tears of the Realm. It's very fun and cool, and yeah.
But yes, please play my character all the time because I love playing that. Oh, my character should have said that. Shoot, that was a good one.
So and I also Zulta showed up, and so I got to do my impression of Zulta, and what kept happening was you would watch Ilea. Just like you'd watch her, like, I need to say something, and then I would say something, and like she actually stopped me at one point. She goes, Jody, I need you to know this. Get out of my head. Because what you just said was exactly what I thought Zulta should say. And that's what I would have said if I was playing Zulta.
It was like, just a couple years where you were playing with us on that character, so it makes sense you would know us a little bit.
So, anyway,
So
fun
it's
stuff,
easy.
cool stuff.
Everything.
I'm trying to vamp until we get a Reggie back, but yeah. So Super Mario RPG Remake comes out tomorrow-ish. I'm very excited about it, as you can tell. That was a foundational game from my childhood. Like, and at least with me, with every foundational game from my childhood, 9 times out of 10, it's not the gameplay that got me, it's the damn music. And the music is so good in that game.
There are many secrets in this game. The beeps insane.
He made a new
Yeah.
version of that.
Yeah, shout out to Kerberfer.
Super good. Anyway, Reggie will join us when he joins us. So, I think I'm going to move some names around so that the right people are the right people. So you're a Rye, and you're Crexy, and you're Reggie.
I am a meat popsicle.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle. All right. It is time. Sure, literally right when I say that. It is now time to return to the Traversing the Veil. After witnessing the escape of an extreme evil creature from centuries past, the party returned to the forward operating base set up on the fading isle that they had been assigned to work on. When they arrived, they found the base itself in disarray. One of their friends had lost a limb, quite a few more had lost their lives. But the party was resolute. They helped those who were still alive and even went as far as to save the 4 petrified members of staff in the hopes that they can find someone with the magic to return them to life. after leaving the Fading Isle, due to the destruction of the forward operating base and most of the supplies, the 3 ships that made it out alive had enough supplies to make it to Vox's Landing, but no further. As they started getting close to Vox's Landing, they saw an unfamiliar sight. The normally tall, towering, floating artificial island now had something large on top of it that seemed to have the same grouping of beholders that they found so far beneath the veil. Now, the party must decide what to do with dwindling supplies and only one point of refuge. So,
Well, you know, we do have a boat full of people.
you do have a boat full of people, and you season them right, and
Exactly.
Oh, come
We'll
on.
be fine.
Reggie just sees all this and he's like, huh.
Nesmer just takes his magnifying glass, just like, well, fuck.
Oh, no.
I told you.
Will you be quiet down there?
Still had to confirm.
So as you guys are all discussing this, you see a flag fly up the flag post of Declan's ship that indicates that they want to dock and have a conversation.
We are also with some other ships as well, right? I think
There's a grand total of 3. One of them went ahead because they had the injured on the ship, and you don't currently see anything of that. So right now, it's your ship and Declan's ship.
crap.
So, provided that you guys are open to an exchange, Declan's ship comes and positions itself between yours, and they throw lines over to kind of bind the ships together and put a gangplank down so that they can come over. And Declan comes over and goes, "Well, seems like we may have a problem."
That's putting it lightly.
Oh, very, very generously.
Does anyone have a way of contacting the ship that was sent ahead? Find out what happened to them. I'm hoping they just decided that wasn't a good idea to approach that place.
Well, one of my spellcasting crewmen attempted to send a message magically, and unfortunately it seemed to have no target to
Son of a
attempt.
bitch.
Oh, no.
Oh, crap.
Unless there's like some super anti-magic barrier on the place.
Well, if my memory serves correctly from the bit of schooling that we had together,
Yeah.
beholders tend to have a gift for canceling out magic, and whatever that massive creature was, it has things similar to a beholder as part of it. So
Yeah.
theoretically, it's possible that they are simply in a place that magic can't penetrate, but perfectly alive.
That is actually something I did not think of.
It's wishful thinking, but at this particular point in time, I think I'll take wishful over realistic.
Well, there's any number of unforeseen factors. So when you just looked up to the sky, it's no longer the same color it used to be. Like, well, we're dealing with a lot of new crap.
Yes, very much so.
It may also depend on where we're casting. Because
Yeah.
we were able to send a message off to an associate of ours, and that did take.
Yes.
Well,
So I think it's just Fox's Landing then.
Theoretically, yeah.
that seems good news in part. The real problem we have, I have nowhere near the supplies to make it to Exelos. Should probably be the closest place, and the Fading Isles are not a place that are particularly friendly to wandering ships. We might find something with maybe something we could eat, but the idea of finding fresh water out here seems nearly impossible.
Yeah, options are also limited because let's just and Reggie just Smegwick looks around at everyone, just goes like, "Yeah, there's no way a ship like yours would be welcome to Bia."
Well, we won't talk about that. However, even if massive destruction has happened at Vox's Landing, there are ample supplies there. If we are careful, perhaps a small team might be able to...
Oh shit!
No.
I hate that makes sense.
If there were another idea I had, I would present it, but we can only go a few days without water. And even
Yes, but-
rationing it, I have maybe 4 days left.
Yeah.
Dying of thirst is an ugly way to go.
Well, the turtle friend, is he on? He's probably on the ship that we can't contact.
He was unfortunately hurt, so he was with the injured.
Well, okay.
I did send out 2 of my Aarakocra crew members to see what they could see. Outside of the docks, we've been unable to see any sort of activity. Way on the top, wherever those new stone growths are, there seems to be a lot going on, but the docks seem relatively unprotected. A very quick and quiet ship might be able to get in without too much difficulty. Maybe using one of the uncovered docks that seem to be unpatrolled currently.
Quick question. And also, I'm gonna guess. During this entire time while we were there, the people we had taken on, are they just like completely listless, apathetic? Still, nothing
They're-
changed at them the entire time.
They've kind of settled into an uneasy kind of, for lack of a better term, new normal. There's not, like, they all seem to be very solemn. And there's not really been any sort of kind of relaxation or celebration or anything that happens on the ship thus far. The ship has kind of a gloomy atmosphere to it.
Yeah, but there's like some of the people they were just like base. There was nothing. Reggie tried, his usual stuff.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good performance and got no reaction out of him.
They haven't really changed in the time that you guys have been doing this.
Okay.
You've only been at sea since leaving there. Or at Vale. You've only been for about like 4 or 5
3
days
Yeah. Okay.
ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes experiences like this take longer than a few days to get over, and
Well, yeah. The
Because-
concern was
very
the concern
true.
was we couldn't nail down was whether or not it was like an effect they were under versus
Yeah.
just getting their shit rocked.
and unfortunately you still don't know.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Now, so I was going to ask. I don't know, because are we like in a captain's quarter situation discussion?
I would assume, since this is a little bit sensitive, you guys probably went back to your captain's quarters, where
Okay.
you guys had your meeting last time.
How's your crew doing? We've kind of had an issue with the people we've taken on. They seem like we're trying to determine. There was kind of like a base level. We could trying to determine whether it's just trauma or effect. They were somewhat unresponsive as a general whole. We're just trying to determine like, is this just battle fatigue or something else affecting? Has the people you've taken on had kind of a base apathy, non-reaction type thing for you?
Now that you mention it, the crew itself has been at a low point since we left, and unfortunately, I've been so busy dealing with running the ship and planning for the next step, I haven't really interacted with the refugees. But I would assume they're probably the same.
Okay.
To be honest, we could really use a win right now.
All of us could.
I have absolutely no idea what that feels like.
Well, what about you all? You seem to be a very competent and creative crew. You've found yourselves apparently in some rather dodgy situations. Do you have any ideas?
Well, provided if we first tactic, we got to get supplies. Second tactic, like I'm agreeing with you on there. A second tactic would be, where will we go from there?
Well, to be honest, if we can get minimum week's worth of water
Okay.
and any food possible, to be perfectly honest, going without food for a few days is unpleasant, but not deadly. Going without water for a few days is
It's
much
better.
worse. So if we focus on the idea of getting water, I think we might be able to go really anywhere. Again, Exelos is slightly over a week away at full sail. And I can't speak for your ship, but my ship has enough crew that we can stay at full sail day and night. Probably cut a day, maybe a day and a half off the trip.
I mean, if between a spellcasters and such, I mean, bare minimum between me and Reggie, if we pull change duties for piloting, I'm pretty sure we could probably work something out.
It's a good idea. So again, the problem we have is we need water.
Jody, this is Evan asking here. I'm just trying to get I know you've already described this before, but I just need a bit of a refresher. So, like, where our ship is at right now, and we see Vox's landing in front of us. Like, in terms of overall nastiness, like, if you could just bullet point for me,
Sure.
what are we seeing from where we're at right now?
So Vox's Landing, and I've recently kind of redefined it a bit just to kind of fit better with how we've been doing this. Vox's Landing is basically a giant ship. It has 6 floors, and each floor is ruled by a different one of these barons. And so each one has a different product that they kind of specialize in. The bottom floor is the dock workers in the shipyard. And before I say the wrong thing, I'm actually going to look up what I literally just finished writing. So hold please. The second floor, if I remember correctly, is hospitality and food. So basically on the second floor is where most of the taverns and restaurants and inns are. The outer ring, because it's a big circle.
Okay.
The outer ring of the second floor is almost exclusively very high-end inns that have these huge picturesque windows that let people kind of look out on the fading aisles while they are in their rooms and things like that. Go here. We will go here. We will go here. Thank you. And then I just have to actually get to the place. I actually go and write stuff down every so often, and it's very useful when I remember to read it.
Mm-hmm.
So, third floor. The third floor actually, when you look at Vox's Landing, it looks like there's just a giant hole in the third floor, because the third floor is basically where all of the produce, livestock, and everything are not only held, but actually grown. And so what they did is they actually just ripped out the sides on the floor, and there's just like pillars that keep the upper floors up. And they actually use mirrors in that to redirect sunlight into the various places where they grow stuff. So that's where fresh food is, and there's also a significant amount of water on the third floor
Okay.
because they
So-
have to water the crops and things like that. Obviously, on the
So-
second floor with the restaurants and stuff like that, there's also going to be food
Basic
and stuff.
supplies.
But most of the fresh food they get directly from the third floor.
So from where we are right now, what exactly do we see from our point of view in terms of like just the nastiness that is happening in Vox's Landing?
Vox's Landing, for the most part, looks very similar to what you're used to seeing, aside from the fact that you don't see... like, normally, as you get close to Vox's Landing, there are ships everywhere. On really, really busy days, there will be a flotilla located just outside of Vox's Landing that you have to stop at first because they have to basically put you in holding patterns before you can go in and to the dock. There is zero movement at Vox's Landing. And then as you go up, on top of the 6th floor, there is now a stone structure that almost looks like it's growing directly out of Vox's Landing. And
So
at the
aside
very
from-
top
oh.
of it, you can see beholders flying around.
So aside from the beholders and the stone structure, it is silent here, and that's a problem.
Yes.
Well, you know,
I think the beholders are the
beholders
problem.
are the problem.
It's kind of like it's kind of like going to Times Square and seeing all of the big monitors and screens there off, and the entire intersection empty.
See, already my instincts are telling me the beholders are just like a side effect. There's something in there.
Well, there's also the thing of, I'm sure shit went sideways, and we don't even know if Corey Alstrix is still there or not. We have established that I'm sure shit went sideways when beholders started going around, and people probably got blasted in some way or another. But I'm sure people probably learned, like we did, if we keep low and we don't attract attention, the beholders fuck with each other.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be a stealth mission.
So we dock, we stay low, we stay indoors, we just get as much water as we can, and then we book it.
Right.
Hopefully, if not, that, no,
Easier to
I'm not. No, I'm not even gonna say another word. I'm gonna jinx it. Let's just dock.
Right.
Well, we need methods of, if we, it's a
Is
great
there
it's a great plan. How are we going to transport that at a large amount enough for like at least 3 ships worth of people?
Yeah.
Well,
Do we see or can we see an outside source of where the water is being stored or coming from, or is it hidden on the 3rd floor?
The way that water is normally brought into Vox's Landing is there are these massive tanker ships that could come in, and then because so fun fact, as much as each floor has like a specialization, stuff from other floors, like the top floor is human capital. It's if you want guards, soldiers, whatever, so that's where you would go to get them. However, there are little shops on every single floor where you can get workers and things like that, except on the base level. The dock workers union controls it completely. Anything that is done on the bottom floor, you have to pay dock workers to do it. And so when these big tankers come in, they have to pay the dock workers to take the water off in these massive containers and bring it to the various places that it's needed on the station.
So they're physically moving big boxes of
big,
water.
Massive tanks of water.
Would there be any stored on the bottom floor, like in transit?
It's theoretically possible. Water is valuable enough, and again, because the entire 3rd floor is farmland, effectively, they go through it real fast. They don't generally tend to leave water on
Flying around.
the main floor for too long. Because again, there's no natural, unlike on like an island or something where there's natural water, there's no natural water on Vox's Landing. So it is somewhat of a commodity. they've never run out of it, and they've never had to ration it before because, again, the barons are freaking rich.
Yeah.
But it's still one of the more valuable things on the station.
So chances are, if we're going to find any standing water that's most likely was about to be used, but it just hasn't had a chance yet, it's going to be on that farm level.
Third floor.
Third
Or-
floor. So we...
If you guys are willing to take smaller amounts in more trips, obviously restaurants are going to have access to water. They're going to need it to cook and clean and
Claim, yeah.
serve people. So it depends
That-
on how you want to get it. One big run, you're going to want to get something big. A bunch of smaller runs, you can take smaller amounts. You guys have a lot of different options here.
Thing is how we don't know
Yeah, I was gonna say
what
we-
the situation is. Yeah, I was thinking like we try out second floor first.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
I
can
think...
talk to the dock workers if we see any.
Yeah,
See if they know if there's
I'll be-
anything stored.
Well, if there's any goblins there, well, I mean, we'll definitely want to keep an eye out to see if like maybe someone like be waving us in, going like, "Hey, get the hell over here!" But they might be in survival mode. But depends if we can see anyone or not.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, how long has it been since the horror was unleashed?
Probably about 4 or 5 days.
Eh,
Because you guys spent
we
an
went-
extra
yeah.
day there, so and you guys have been
Yeah.
at sea for about 3 or 4 days. So
who knows if they have any water left?
they when Vox's Landing is low on water, they have enough for the entire station for months, and it's a massive station. So
Alright.
So chances are, if we can find out where they have that kind of storage...
But we don't really want to be stealing from, like, the people. Because they need it too.
Well, they may need it, but they may also like. There depends.
We're just trying to get a week's worth. We're not trying to take it all. So
Okay.
we just gotta get out of here.
Not to be too maudlin, there's also the distinct chance that maybe the entire the population was dwindled some.
Yeah, either they all got turned to stone, or they all booked it before we even got here.
Yeah.
Either way, this place is way too quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a plan. We stay quiet, low. Don't go outside. We stick to the second floor, third floor if we think we need to. Get in, get what we need, get out, leave. No distractions. Let's do it.
We want to try to go to the second floor first, right? The second floor, test it out, or are we just going the whole hog and going for third?
This is personally just me, and this is both Evan and Reggie. I personally think we get what we need from the second floor first, because so far that sounds like the less dangerous route. But if it's not enough, then let's risk the third floor.
Yeah, because I'm seeing it more like we test, like ironically testing the waters.
Yeah, exactly.
well, due to our inability to communicate with anyone there, I would feel better if you would take one of my Aarakocra crew. If there is some sort of anti-magic field there, they can fly out, send any message that needs to be sent in case you need help carrying water or rescue from hundreds of beholders or something like that. I think it would be in everyone's best interest to have some non-divination magic style way to keep in contact.
That would be much appreciated. Thank you.
That would be pretty helpful. My sending's been kaput.
Good. I will,
Sure as hell don't want to set up a flare right now.
yes, that would probably be in no one's best interest. If there is a situation where we need to throw caution to the wind, I have loaded all of my ballistae. We were able to construct a few explosive tips. We will come in with weapons blazing and hopefully get out as quickly as possible. But if you start hearing explosions when we are coming, it would be in your best interest to get to the edge of the station as quickly as possible.
Stay safe.
Understandable.
All right. Are you going to take your ship, or do you have something smaller that you want to attempt to close in it on?
I think we kind of seen this is what we got to work with.
All right.
And it's small because I know we're a cargo ship. I think we're also the smallest out of us three,
Most
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
And even then, like, even if we weren't, I don't think we've ever used dinghies before. I think we just never had those.
You guys do have
We have a couple.
yeah, you have a couple lifeboats. You haven't had a need to use them. Any large ship has to have dinghies and,
Yeah.
and lifeboats. If for no other reason than there are certain times when your ship would not be able to dock for whatever reason, but
ground.
a small ship can. You generally don't have to worry about running aground on the Vale because there's no ground to run on. But
Well, depending on the angle of an island.
yeah, there are other issues with just being able to support a dock large enough to actually bring in a full ship and other things like that. So, well then, I don't think it is in anyone's best interest for you to endanger any more people than is necessary. Why don't I take your refugees? It'll be tight quarters on the ship, but hopefully it will only be for a short amount of time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I will have my crew help relocate them as soon as possible.
Okay. What's the Aarakocra guy's name?
I've got a few. I will have him introduce himself when themselves when they arrive, whichever one decides to come. So I must be off, and he kind of turns and goes to the door and goes back off to his ship.
Mhm.
Within a few minutes, you start seeing members of his crew start coming over and immediately going below decks to start kind of basically help the refugees start packing up. After about 10 or 15 minutes, you see a younger looking Aarakocra male with like kind of red tail hawk pattern feathers. And he comes over and goes, "Hello, my name is Peter. I believe I'm going to be helping you out a bit."
Thank you for your help.
Yeah, thank you kindly.
Well, hopefully my help will be rewarded with water and not death. That seems to be a pretty good trade for some flying through beholder-infested waters. Anyway,
Hopefully, we'll get the food, and you'll have the option between cake or death.
yes, it sounds lovely. Just for my own benefit, I believe I'm going to start camping up in the Crow's Nest. If you all have no issue with that.
And I can find another spot.
All right. Then let me know when we're ready to depart. And you see him start kind of climbing up scaffolding and going over and just doing some other stuff. Like you see him start like testing belaying pins and make sure that things are tied down correctly and just kind of doing regular ship duties.
Also, I'm going to talk to, so like, check in with, go guys, before I have a coughing fit.
This has made him really emotional, guys.
Aw.
Checking in with Thomas and Reese, do they want to stick on the ship or not?
Reese kind of looks at you and goes, "Well, you'll probably need someone to stay on the ship in case something goes wrong. So I have no problem staying here and ensuring that things stay safe on the ship."
Okay.
And Thomas goes, "Well, I think I know a few people on Vox's Landing. I've been there. I got my food there. So If you need someone to kind of direct you to where the best spots are to get food and what's going to have the most nicest thing, I can act in that. Or I can just stay here because that ship is going to be a nightmare to be on because everyone's going to be standing on top of each other.
Oh yeah, I just figured like I'm not saying you should come into Vox's Landing with us. I'm just saying if you wanted to be on the ship or not.
Oh, you couldn't pay me enough to go on that other ship. It was unpleasant smelling when we had half of them over here. And
Okay.
he comes up and kind of claps you on the shoulder. I trust you. You've kept me safe after pulling me out of the veil. It's not like you do that to anyone twice, right?
Hey,
Alright, gonna go over and ruffle his hair. Oh, it's Thomas! And then kind of like fix it after he ruffles it.
Thank you, Arai. And he kind of turns to Reese and goes, "Don't let her get used to. Don't let him get used to doing that. It will never stop. I don't see why you'd have any problem with that. Seems like he's just an affectionate person."
Why don't you just speak up about your freaking boundaries?
yeah, we apologize in advance.
Arai goes and like ruffles Reese's hair and kind of like gives him a little head hug.
Here we go.
You just watch.
I
You just
got a
watch
color.
Thomas just melt
Oh, we've already
inside.
given him one.
This is a bad idea. All right. I'm going to turn down everything, batten down hatches, things like that. See what I can do to make us have the smallest presence physically possible. So you have fun, and he goes back down below decks.
Well, Reese goes down there real quick. Just gonna check in, see with Crexney, and theoretically, and this is like a meeting of the minds thing. If we hit the turbo button and it's not ready, what could happen?
Probably blow up. Isn't that what we determined? That if we do it when it's not ready, it could explode? Based off of what I was looking at? I did 3 days of research so far.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, you don't think there would be like a massive ship-destroying explosion.
Right.
But if it were to effectively explode, instead of repairing it, you would have to get it replaced. Like it would be, at that point, irreparable. Right now, it just needs to be fixed. But it blows
Yeah,
up,
but-
and you guys have a really great smoking paperweight.
I'm saying, so if we hit the button, it's just gonna explode, right? There's like no like even
Yeah.
like a little bit of a like not even that.
I think it's gonna just go kaput.
All right.
So like and then the end. So I recommend not hitting that button until we get it fixed.
Yeah, where the Aracalgra. Yeah. Oh god, I forgot the name of those.
Peter?
Peter.
Yeah. The guys that gave us our motor and the
Oh, the
last.
Kenku.
Cancun!
Yeah,
Kenku.
the Kenku.
Great!
Upgrades?
Yeah.
Were they on this island
Press the
or?
button.
No, they were in
Abia.
Abia.
A Bia.
Yeah, we can't exactly go back there.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, good to know.
So,
Oh.
any other ways that you guys want to kind of prepare for this thing?
Can't really think of anything right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, good. Ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I doubt Declan has access to a portable hole. That'd be real handy.
It would be, wouldn't it? So takes takes another roughly about an hour to get everyone off the ship and then effectively get the ship ready to sneak into Vivox's landing. Go ahead.
Can we see if Declan has something that we can put large quantities and heavy quantities of things into, like a very wonderful bag, or of the
Absolutely.
sorts?
Speaking with the Declan, he has a grand total of 4 bags of holding.
I have one too.
And before I say the wrong thing, because there's actual limits as to what a bag of holding can do.
Yeah, definitely a weight limit.
So, the bag can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet, and the bag always weighs 15 pounds. So, with the 4 of them that you guys got from him, you can effectively hold up to 2,000 pounds or a ton, as long as that ton doesn't exceed about 64 cubic feet.
And what is those water crates? Do you know? Or can we look when we get there?
If you're talking about like the massive ones, those are huge. Like,
How do those get moved around? Like a pallet jack, or are we?
effectively, yeah.
Okay.
They have pallet jacks and they have what do you call it?
Is there
Hoist
anyone in the
systems.
team who's forklift certified?
I'm sure I would be.
Yeah, she's not only forklift certified. She wrote like one of the chapters of the book.
She built a forklift.
I built it in my sleep.
She is the one who filmed forklift driver Klaus.
Yeah, tried to kill her with a forklift.
So, probably like the big tanks are probably going to be carrying anywhere in the neighborhood to 50 to 70,000 gallons of water in those really, really big ones.
Nah.
They're effectively like 16-wheeler water.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
tanks.
Just trying to think of-
we can't get away with moving that.
I hear you. I was just trying to determine how we can carry more.
Yeah.
If we have to find now something to store it in, yeah, we can't just pour it in a bag.
Well,
Or
no, I
can
was just
you?
thinking like, well, I mean, you could, but
I mean, there's nothing that says that a bag of holding isn't technically watertight.
Yeah.
But it means that anything else in the bag of holding
Down.
will be wet, and if it gets too high, it is a regular bag, and it's
Yeah.
only the very top, and the top has a maximum diameter of about 2 feet. So if you like tilt the bag of holding for whatever reason, the water will pour out
Yeah.
because there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
well, technically, if you're intending to reach in and get it, because otherwise, I think you actually could tip it, unless you're intending to actually go in there and grab something, or because I think its intent activates the bag of holding, right?
Yeah, because you
It
can
has
grab what
an
you want.
intent aspect to it, but it is basically a
Bag.
it's an extra dimensional space
Yeah.
with an intent aspect to it.
Now we do need a container to hold the water.
Yeah.
Well, we can find something, I guess, when we just find where the water's being stored initially.
Yeah, what I'm saying is we also might just like, I mean, bags of holding is great if is the option. If we could also move like smaller containers, that also may be an option too. It's like that's
That's the thought. If we can go and
Yeah.
find barrels or
Yeah.
some sort
Yeah.
of container that we can.
smaller targets, less noticeable.
Right.
And again, like you guys have a cargo ship.
Yeah.
So
we can put barrels into our holding and then take them.
yeah, like if we go over to
Yeah.
the I'll go to the top deck here on the ship. So if you look at it, if you see those kind of slat things,
Yeah.
those lift out so you can put stuff directly into your cargo hold. So theoretically, if you could find a way to get it to your ship, you could probably take maybe not like a 50,000 gallon tank, but maybe like a 20,000 gallon or 10,000 gallon tank, because they'll have multiple sizes. You could fit that on your ship. You couldn't fit that in a bag of holding.
Yeah.
So again, there's lots of options depending on what you guys find there and what you guys decide to do. It's going to be up to you, but
What do you guys think about taking barrels from our ship just in case, or do you want to keep their bags empty on the way in?
Big bags empty. Since we don't know what we're going to find there, I think taking the barrels with us might be a bit of a risk.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go explore and find out what's on this first floor. See if we
All
can find
right.
someone.
so it takes you guys about 4 hours to actually get there, and the closer you get, the more you feel this kind of overwhelming dread. But despite the feeling that you all are getting, nothing really changes with Vox's Landing. As you're going up to it, the beholders are still really far up, because each one of the floors is not like a 10 or 20 foot floor. They're like 50 or 100 foot high floors. So it goes up, 500-600 feet. And so they're pretty high up, and they don't seem to notice you much. You guys are kind of a smaller ship, and so as you get to one of the open air docks, nothing has happened.
Okay. Do we see anything around us? Any people? Any?
No, but again, with the outdoor docks, there tends to be a little bit less. People prefer to use the covered docks just because they're safer. Generally, the outdoor docks are mostly used for kind of picking up and dropping off passengers and things like that. And then to get inside, there is an actual door that you have to go through. That as of right now, you can see they're big doors, big double doors, and you can see they seem to be closed from what you can see.
All right. So we are not in there yet. We're still just docking. We're still outside by the docks.
That is correct.
Okay.
So as you all get there, each of these outdoor docks, there's generally about half a dozen that are all kind of located together, and they all have like a central double door that they can go through. None of the other ones have even remnants of ships on them. They're just completely empty as you get there. The veil itself seems oddly still here as well. What would you guys like to do?
Go inside the doors.
Okay. So going up to the doors themselves, they're not locked, but they are latched to keep them shut. Opening the latch is relatively easily, and as you do that, you hear the doors themselves start making this loud kind of whining sound of metal grinding on metal. As they open, you guys can kind of look into the dock, and the dock itself looks mostly dead. Like there's nothing here. You don't see people moving around. You don't see any bodies or anything. It's just nothing. And I'd like everyone to make me a perception check, please.
Oh God!
Gosh darn it!
Dang it!
Not proficient in this. 6.
Okay.
9.
Oh wait, you give me with because you have said this before with Spitwit, so
21.
16 because you have
Jax,
said
you
with
may or
Spitwit
may
can
not
help.
be muted. I didn't hear you.
13.
13. Okay.
So 16 with Spitwit. Spitwit is helping.
Okay. Venus, what was yours?
21.
21. Okay. And then Aoi?
2.
2. Okay. So most of you guys are just very focused on kind of the terror that's starting to slowly overtake your bodies. You're having a hard time kind of focusing on looking around or anything. Krexney, you having worked on shipyards so often, you immediately are looking for things that don't make sense to you. And probably the first thing that you find most interesting is you don't see any of the supplies that you would kind of be used to seeing on docks. Like a lot of times there's spare parts, nails, screws and things like that to do little bits of repair. A lot of times there's lubricant around. None of that is here.
So, you guys, there's nothing on this floor here. There's no sign of life ever. No screws, no lubricant, no fixing ships, no nothing. It's just empty, dead.
A long time to clean up.
It almost
Maybe it's been taken.
Unless maybe they had because we've seen bug out before. I don't know if you guys have, but Reggie, Allie, and I have definitely seen the results of people bugging out before.
I know. I don't want to even
It's-
think about that.
As far as what you can see, Krexney, this is... If someone was cleaning out a dock really quickly, there would be
This
things
is
that are
it.
left behind. Things like nails and screws are cheap and heavy. They're not worth saving. This looks like it's been picked clean.
It looks like it's been picked clean. Not that someone left in a hurry or anything. It just looks. Nothing is here. No screws. No nothing. There would be no point in taking it. Not if you were leaving in a hurry or trying to run.
No, that's not a good sign. If they're not even leaving screws behind them, what's the water situation?
Mm.
Well, hey, silver lining. It means, like, as we make it to where we need to go, there will be possibly nothing in our way.
Yeah. But I can't even get any scrap metal to fix anything if anything breaks. There's like nothing.
As you say that, you guys suddenly hear
God damn it!
a sound. It sounds like multiple footfalls. And if you guys are looking at the map, you will notice a large circle thing with a number 8 in it.
Oh, we noticed.
Yeah, we noticed.
So
Mm,
speedrun, yep. So every time somebody says the word 8 or uses the number 8, you guys all have to get up, spin around, and recite the alphabet backwards. No.
Okay.
The way this is going to work.
I say I like that.
Yeah, it's like, I'm game. Let's do
That's
this.
fun.
Okay,
I'll get
but
my
I'm-
pupper
I'm-
and do it with them.
I'm gonna mute my mic and turn my camera off. But
No, the way this is going to work.
totally did it.
And I did it this particular way as a favor to you guys because you know how good I am at rolling high numbers.
Yes.
For every action that you guys take, I am going to roll a d8. Whatever the number on here says, if I roll that number or higher, some event is going to happen, and there's a possibility you are going to be
die.
caught by whatever is here.
yeah.
And depending on what you guys do and how your checks go, that number will slowly get lower and lower and lower. And if the countdown clock gets to 0, the entire station, whatever is still here, will know that you are there. Make
Okay.
sense? So what I'm going to have everyone do right now is we're going to start off by everyone just giving me some dexterity stealth checks.
Okay.
And we will see what
Right.
happens.
Alright.
Finally, I get to shine.
Bluff.
So,
That is
You're a
a 20.
barbarian. I mean, barbarians have huge dex. Oh, wait.
That is a 24.
24. Okay,
Right.
cool.
21.
All right.
What they want?
I'm okay. I got a 17.
20. I
Not
got
bad.
a 20.
Not
I got
bad.
a 20.
And then Smegwick, I'm going to have you roll separate checks for you and Smegwick, unless you want to dismiss Smegwick. Or not Smegwick, Spitwick, sorry. Different checks for Smegwick and Spitwick.
Even if Spit was just like clinging with me.
Yeah, just because he's a benefit to you, but he's also a hindrance to you. Because it's...
Okay. I'll just have him here for now since little bastard got better than me.
Oh, buddy, he's safe.
17 plus whatever his, because I know he actually is proficient in stealth. Yeah, so 17 plus 4. Yep, 21.
Yeah, so he's due. And then what was Smegwick's?
9.
9. Okay. So these are going to be, for the most part, group checks. So a single
Okay.
low roll is not going to kill anyone.
God.
It's going to be based on averages and the things like that.
Oh,
So,
we win.
It's not
Thank
going to
goodness.
kill anyone. It'll just hurt.
well, if you do kill someone, it will be everybody's fault, not one person's fault. So,
Peachy.
so as you guys are there, you suddenly hear the sound of not only footfalls, but synchronized footfalls. Smegwick, you are instantly brought back to marching training during basic training because marching, the first time you march at all, it sounds like lump, 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 and then eventually it turns into that chunk, 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 chunk. And this is the most in sync marching you have ever heard. They are perfectly in line.
Oh my gosh, we're not getting this water, bro.
Would Ali recognize this as well?
And
It's a festival.
you didn't, because you were in school, you didn't really get marching training or anything like that unless you joined a marching band, and that's a very different experience. Smegwick is former military, so he actually had
Technically, I've been through boot camp.
So, as you guys all realize this, you all start just looking for places to hide, and you're all able to find something. Smegwick, as you go over to kind of hide under a large drum, you watch as the drum itself kind of shifts a little bit, and you get worried for a second that they're going to notice it. And Crexie just kind of comes over and just kind of presses you up against the wall with her. And it seems like they don't notice it. But soon you see this large floating sphere come in. And beneath him is a group of about a dozen people that are all wearing kind of jumpsuits that, again, look very familiar to Crexney. They're just, your standard kind of grease monkey
Workers.
jumpsuits. But they are all perfectly in step.
What?
And they go around, and you see this large beholder sitting there and just kind of looking around. You guys, as its center eye looks around and kind of goes over where you guys are hiding, you feel your magic items just barely lose a little bit of their magic as the beholder looks over at you, but he doesn't seem to have noticed you. And you hear him go, "Rah! Must have just been... You guys are so stupid!" And you watch him just kind of lift one up and throw it across the room. "Oh, he's telling me that there's stuff here and there's not. Let's get back!" And you watch as the guy that was thrown across the room kind of picks himself up, limping, and follows the rest of them up.
Do those guys look dazed,
Under trance.
mesmerized?
100%.
Tranced.
Oh,
Some kind of hypnosis.
charm effect.
Well,
Know what happened to some of the workers?
this is gonna be fun, guys.
So the way that Vox's Landing is set up is, again, it's a big old circle. And in the center is what's called the Central Pavilion.
Elevator.
Yeah, there is an elevator. It's mostly used to transport freight and things like that. But it's also just a large open area that is open all the way up to the top floor. There's actually a tower in the center of it where the 6 barons, if they do need to meet about what's going on the station, that's where they go. And it's this big, large kind of glass room that's on the top of this tower. And in the Central Pavilion, there are stairs everywhere to get to every single floor. There are kind of hidden staircases throughout all the various floors to get to higher floors, but for the most part, the easiest way to get to any of the floors is to go to this central pavilion. So my question to you guys is, where do you want to go?
Well, I
So-
imagine the central pavilion would be the most obvious place to be seen.
Possibly.
Yeah, because it would just make us a moving target. That thing's probably made of glass.
Well, first we kind of need to find the places we need to find.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see
what I
if
was say. We
this-
gotta find a restaurant or since we're going to farming. I'm sorry, farming. We can't see above us. We can't see anything that's on the next floor, right?
No.
Not at all.
Because it's a floor.
Yeah. So we
like I
gotta
said,
find
there are
stairs.
some
Yeah.
stairs that go up there, but you guys are not aware of where they are. So if you want to find them, you'll have to search for them.
We may have to risk searching for stairs because that's the best way we have it staying hidden.
I agree.
Hmm.
I would imagine try and find stairs, anything that would resemble most opportunistic place for an access point for workers, so forth. Gotta keep
I was
an
about
eye
to say,
out.
will we be able to tell based on the wall, like if we knocked on it?
The
Type of
stairs
thing.
are generally going to be located because there's offices all over this bottom floor, basically for like floor managers and things like that. If there are going to be stairs, the issue with the first level is because it is because it's
Dock.
basically just a bunch of shipyards and docks. They generally don't have a whole lot of access to the next floor. The rest of the floors, there's a lot more stairs and ways to go up and down. It's just this one, because it's all ships, it tends to be the most difficult to get off of, if that makes sense. Normally what you would do when you get to Voxus Landing, you deal with the docks, and then you go to the center pavilion, and then you can go anywhere on the station. So so if you guys do want to start kind of looking, I need somebody to make me intelligence investigation checks, and we'll start with that.
Right. I'll go see if anyone else wants to do that too.
Yeah, I got plus 3 in it.
I don't really trust myself with this
Oh, there
one.
we go. I got a 20.
Okay.
Nice.
And you guys can see it. So. It's okay. I got a 20. You're gonna be okay.
So
Apparently, once again, roll D&D Beyond. I'm just drilling in my shoes.
fun.
I like to roll my dice.
Go physical. That's why I roll physical dice.
Yep.
So, Crexney, you start kind of looking around. Again, you're relatively familiar with how docks work, and you just kind of use that knowledge to go, okay, where would the most likely place be that would need a faster way to get up? Because again, a lot of the times, the things that are coming off this ship have to go through the center pavilion because it's the only place that's large enough
Big
to move
enough.
large amounts of cargo. So you sit there and you're thinking and kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen?
He's rolling dice. We're in trouble, guys.
Yeah, basically every time you guys
Yeah.
do something, I'm going
Every
to roll a
time.
die. And again, if I roll right now, we
Higher.
have an 8 or
Yeah.
higher, which 8 is as big as it gets. Some event is going to happen, and sure enough, my
Peachy.
first roll is an 8.
Oh no.
So you guys are searching through the various places, and eventually you see an office that is kind of nestled into a wall. And you're like, well, if they were going to have a staircase, like, again, these are big, huge open rooms. We would be able to see them. So I'm thinking that's probably a great place to have a set of stairs is in here. So you get there, the door itself is locked.
Of course it is.
It's not a particularly complex lock, but it's not your kind of run-of-the-mill, easygoing. It's kind of your mid-grade. And as you sit there and go, oh, great, we have a locked door, you suddenly hear from another area, you see you hear kind of an explosion go, and you can see a beholder has just kind of come into the area. It doesn't look like it's looking for anyone, but it seems to be kind of firing rays off at random, and it just so happened to hit something that was volatile, or it threw something volatile, and there was a big explosion. And so now it's just kind of going around, and you can watch it use its telekinesis beam to just pick stuff up and throw it in various directions.
Guys, it's drunk.
You smell the faint smell of alcohol wafting through the air. Takes a lot to get a
I
beholder
don't think
drunk.
it was that faint.
What do you guys want to do? There's nothing to really hide behind next to the office, but you also can't pick a lock or deal with a door from far away, unless one of you guys have an idea. So
How
what would y'all
far
like
is
to
it?
do? The closest cover that you could hide behind is going to be about 200 feet away from the office itself.
Oh God.
It's big spaces, man.
Yeah. It's a bunch of it's a massive what is it, spool of rope. It's probably about like 6 or 7 feet to tall. That's the closest bit of kind of cover to the door.
Okay, then Smegwick and I should probably like hide behind there.
Okay. Well, you all can kind of hide there. You just won't be able to do anything about the door.
Can I infuse items?
Of course. What infusion would you want to use? Generally, you infuse items at the beginning of the day, but
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I didn't know if I could do it now or if I had to do it before.
it takes time to infuse an item, if I remember correctly. So,
Okay.
did you have a specific infusion you wanted to use?
No, not necessarily. I was just curious. Maybe I can get a tool that can unlock locks, like easier locks,
Well, you have
just
that.
while we're not around.
You have something that would do it automatically. You don't have anything like that. You can.
Yeah.
You have that right tools for the job thing that you could use
Right.
to effectively make lockpicks. But as far as like auto lockpicks, that's a little
Well, I
beyond
have.
your ability.
Wouldn't thieves tools?
Well, that's what
thieves-
thieves tools are.
that's what-
is
yeah, I would
lockpicks
say.
and that.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So I wouldn't have to make it.
Reggie also has these tools too, but it's good to have.
Yeah. Well, I have
do.
it, so I wouldn't have to make it.
So as you
If
guys
there's
are
something that can
having this
make it
conversation, you can see the beholders getting a little bit
No, we
closer,
gotta go.
picking up
We'll
other
hide.
things and throwing
All
them.
right. Decide.
Hey.
I'm not gonna be
also-
able to pick this fast, so
Well, we can also just like I give like I go into my bag. I give Araya a ball bearing, and it's just
throw it as far as you
pure,
can.
pure mundane. Just throw a distraction.
Alright, takes the ball bearing and throws
So
it
do you want to
in
risk?
the opposite direction.
And then you want me to pick it while he's doing that, or you guys want to hide? That's the question.
Well, first we can see if we can distract him, and then we can Borke little dose.
Okay. So, Arai, why don't you give me a strength-based attack roll?
Oh, plus
Well, I got a
48.
20, so a nat 20.
Oh, you got a nat 20.
Yes.
Okay, so
Plus
you
a
guys
Nat 20.
Can
you guys
throw it in
watch
an
this
eyeball?
as Arai sitting here, Arai
Pierces it.
feeling a little bit kind of
You're
not
kind
being
of
in his own
useless
way.
at this particular point because you can't make a lot of noise and you're used to kind of breaking things. And suddenly, Crexy turns, you goes, "Throw this as hard as you can." And you watch as Arai's eyes kind of light up a little bit, and you take it and you see where it is, and you start kind of figuring out vectors and angles and things like that. And as you're sitting there going, "If I could bounce it off, out of hell with this," and you just throw it as
Break a
hard
hole in
as
the
you
wall.
can. It goes past the beholder, which doesn't seem to notice the very small ball bearing as it goes past. But you just so happen to hit the barrel that Smegwick had originally tried to hide behind when you first came in, and it falls over and hits a wall full of various bits of like scrap metal and things like that they hadn't found a use for, and it turns into this, and it knocks over some shelves that are empty because they've been picked clean.
Just
Turns
one-
into this huge
Domino
kerfuffle
effect.
of noise.
Rye's really excited and wants to start clapping, but he's not going to because he knows better.
Just a Rube Goldberg of chaos just suddenly just happened.
And the beholder, realizing something's happened, looks for the largest item it can find to kind of throw over there, and it immediately sees the large, very heavy spool of rope that you guys are all hiding behind, and it lifts it up and turns around without noticing you guys at all, and just hurls it over, and you watch as it puts this pretty massive hole in the wall behind it, and you watch it go, "What the hell, yeah!" And
he's drunk.
he wandered. I
Picking
told you
lock.
guys you smelled alcohol. And you watch him as he kind of floats. You watch him as he floats. He kind of dips down far enough that he actually impacts the floor, and he leaves this kind of skid mark on the floor. And then keeps going. It's like, "You stupid thing, you're always just."
I'm picking locks.
Go ahead and make me a thieves' tool check.
He was just
But I
afraid. He's
need
afraid.
my-
He's afraid to even move right now. It's just like
Or you guys are just standing there hiding behind something that doesn't exist anymore. What do you got?
27.
27.
27. You
Nice.
fail, unfortunately. No. So you guys, as you guys are all trying to figure out where to hide next, you suddenly hear Crectzy go, "Yes!" And you watch as the door swings open and she just starts, "Come on.
Okay.
And as you all wander back in, Crexney, you very carefully and slowly close the door, making almost no sound. And you hear another thud outside, and you look through the kind of very small window in here, and he has picked up, the beholder has picked up two of the shelving units that had fallen over, and he's just slamming them together like a child with a new toy. He's just like, "How did you get for falling over and scaring me? As you guys kind of look around, you can see that there is an extremely narrow stairway in the back of here, barely wide enough for you to stand it normally. Arai, unfortunately, the breadth of your shoulders is actually a little bit too wide to stand normally, so you have to kind of sidestep to get into this extremely narrow stairway. But you think it should go all the way up to the next floor.
Peachy. You guys, we're not getting no water out here. I'm just gonna throw that out here right now.
oh, we just have to get up to the next spot. We don't know what's what anywhere.
Okay. All right.
Right.
What do we
Just
see
stand
after we
out
get
for more
through
ball
the...
bearings?
Yeah, right.
Arai has just become proficient in a new weapon. Balls.
Balls.
Oh, he's always been proficient. in
Yeah, I was
balls.
gonna say you just teed that one up.
Yeah, you set that one up on purpose.
Yeah.
So, you guys go, and again, because it's so tight, fuck.
Yes, Dirty?
I was gonna sit back. You just keep doing it now. I don't even.
It is such an enclosed space. God, I can't.
Talk.
You get to the next thing. It takes
Such
about
a narrow
10 minutes.
pathway.
No, I was going to start talking about how hot it was inside, and
Oh no!
nope, you guys don't get that. That's not how it works anymore. You guys just go up.
It's a balmy tropical temperature.
Arai, your summer Eladrin heritage is suddenly starting to feel very comfortable, while everyone else is like melting. You guys get up to the top of the stairs, and it is literally just a trapdoor hatch that is at the top of this. and it doesn't seem to be locked. But as who would be in the front? Because this is tight enough that you guys aren't going to be able to get past each other. So who would have gone first?
Probably not Arai.
Okay.
It probably would have been me.
Okay. So as you get there, you kind of feel the trapdoor, and it feels like it just hasn't been used in a while, and it seems to be kind of rusted shut right now. You think with enough force you could probably get through it, or if you have another idea of how to get through a rusted hatch, what would you all like to do?
Oil can.
Do we have? I was gonna say,
Oil.
don't we have oil? Pass me the oil.
I would assume Arai always has at least a small amount of like WD-40, or not Arai. Yeah, I mean Arai probably does have.
Arai
I was
always
gonna
has
say,
oil
wait.
on him.
Arai always has some oil on him. It's mineral
Scented-
oil
Scented, flavored.
and a little bit of
Whichever
cocoa
way
butter.
you want to go with warming.
However,
Keep
Crexney,
taking my
on the
hole,
other hand,
Jody.
I would assume you would always have at
Yeah.
least
Okay.
either a dry
Something.
lubricant or something like that, like a graphite kind of thing.
Okay. Well, yeah, then I'll try that because I don't have the strength. So
Okay, cool. Why don't you make me a tinkering tools check? So that would be your intelligence plus your proficiency
17.
bonus. 17, not bad at all. So, as you're sitting there and let's get a marching order here. We've got Crexney at the top. Who would be right behind Crexney?
Maybe.
Okay.
You can go.
I think it would be probably Spegwig,
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and then
Smegwig-
Reggie,
Probably
and then
the
Owie,
last.
and then Arai.
Yeah, sounds good.
So Arai's taking up the rear. God damn it!
Another 6 feet under.
That was
Jody.
not my intention.
Arai appreciates a
mine.
caboose.
A nice caboose.
Smegwick, you watch as Crexney is sitting there, and you watch as Crexney tries to force it open, and you both realize that it's stuck. And so Smegwick, just being the person that you are, your first thought is like, well, here, let me see if I can help. And it's such tight quarters that you can't actually get past Crexney to get any sort of a grip. And so as you guys are kind of conversing about this,
Damn it.
as you guys are conversing about this, suddenly you watch as Crexney's eyes kind of light up, and you see her start like reaching into pockets and things, and she suddenly pulls out this very small amount of grease in a little container, and you watch her kind of pull the stopper out and just kind of stick a finger in, and she starts kind of rubbing the grease on the various hinges and stuff that she can see, and you hear this kind of and then she kind of twists it again, and each time she twists it, the sound gets lesser and lesser, and suddenly you feel a kind of and you think the trapdoor is now free, and you can just kind of push it up. As you kind of well, I guess I'll ask you, do you want to like peek out? Do you want to just open it
Yes,
up
I
and
wanna
come
peek
out?
out.
Okay.
No.
So as you
Roll the
peek
dice.
out, the first thing that you notice is there are people here. And compared to the ones that you just saw, they don't look zombified.
Enchanted.
As I say, if they're charmed, we actually might want to avoid them.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, you can see there's not a ton next to you, but you can see probably about 100 feet away. You can see a few people that are walking in a very kind of determined manner somewhere else on the floor. So what would you like to
Okay.
do?
Before I go out, I'm just gonna let everybody know that I see people and kind of get a gauge on what they want to do. Jump
Okay.
out or
You see any beholders?
no, just people, and they look safe. They don't look enchanted or in a trance. They look like they're trying to in a hurry to get somewhere.
Shall we approach them?
Give me a marble. Just kidding.
I still have like just shy of 1,000 in my pack.
Jesus
I'll
Christ.
just roll it.
All right,
I don't-
he
I don't
got his
think
hand to
we're-
Reggie. Get him from everyone.
I don't think they're gonna be bad. I don't think there's gonna be an issue, but they might see this as an exit and try to storm it. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They just look hurried.
They didn't seem to respond to the sound.
They didn't hear the sound from top, Jody?
Not that you can tell. If
Okay.
they did, they don't seem to be reacting to it. They definitely weren't looking at you.
Yeah, they don't see me, so.
Well, just because they're not charmed, maybe they might also be just. They might have also just agreed to the new change in management.
Well, you guys tell me what do you want to do. We have one option because
Unfortunately.
I'm stuck. So, you want me to go out first, or do you
Yeah.
want two of us to go out? Do you want us to all just to march on out? I'm okay with going out. So,
Yeah, we're gonna have to go out. We can't stay here.
I'm going out.
Kind of far, and it's kind of.
I'm going out. Jody, I'm just gonna
Okay.
slowly.
So
not,
as you
like,
very
dramatically.
slowly lift it up, because of the grease that you put on there, the hinges make almost no sound.
Perfect.
And you're very, very careful about placing the trapdoor down so it doesn't make a huge amount of sound. It's a heavy trapdoor. It makes a little bit of sound. As you get up, you can see you're in kind of a lesser used thoroughfare. You can see there's some buildings around there. It looks like the place that you're at right now is mostly living quarters for this part of the
Sure.
city. So there's a lot of kind of doors that seem to lead to like single occupancy little living quarters. And looking around, you can see there seems to be a decent amount of people here, but they all seem very, very focused. And as of right now, none of them seem to have noticed you because the trapdoor is kind of located in an awkward spot.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna get out
Okay.
and let everybody else try to get out, but stay quiet in the back. So not to like let anybody look at me. I just kind of want to stay back and
Yep.
see if we can close the door before people see it.
So yeah, without too much difficulty, you're able to get the entire group out, and the only issue that you have is the way that this trapdoor is designed is once it's closed, it's almost invisible. There's no real handle on this side. There's just there's this almost imperceivable little lip that you have to kind of get under. But
Is there
unless
any metal around or anything that I can make?
the floor
like
itself is metal.
Okay. Is there anything that I can make for scrap so that I can put it underneath so we at least can recognize that and pull up? Because I'm sure.
Sure. I mean,
can,
you've got enough
yeah.
stuff that you could kind of just put something to keep it just barely popped up.
The option is just we just need to know it's there, right? As long as we know it's there, we can open it.
Yeah.
Well, but if
Oh,
you have a
okay.
quick way to open it for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was just say I could mark it with prestidigitation.
Alright.
Okay. As long as we can get it open, that's the fear. I just want to be able to
Yeah.
get it open.
Yeah.
Not
Basically,
long.
the way that it works is there is just a tiny little opening where you basically have to get your fingers on it and lift it up.
Okay.
And
Well,
if you're
then
not
mark it.
like right on top of it, you wouldn't be able to see that little opening.
Well, then
So
if
a
you want to
small
mark it,
door
that's
stop.
fine. Marking it's fine as long as it won't lose its mark. I don't really want anyone else to see it either and then lock it. So
Do we really want to use magic though and rely on magic here?
It's prestidigitation. It's not gonna like it basically will soil. It's not, but I think once it's marked, you can mark it. It would stay theoretically.
With how magic
put a
has
desk,
been
move a desk
reacting,
over it.
Yeah, I'd rather have some sort of physical marker.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, got chalk.
You can improvise them. Again, having known quite a few mechanics, the idea that Crexney wouldn't have a grease pen on her as well.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm just gonna mark it.
Okay. So yeah, you just put a,
Yep.
like a grease mark on it so you can find it again. As you all are sitting there, kind of look around, you eventually hear, "Hey!" And you see a kind of taller gentleman that's kind of noticed you, and he kind of walks over. "What are you doing?"
Looking for you.
No. What have you been assigned to do today?
Collect water.
Collect water? That's weird.
Don't
I
ask me. I don't make the orders. I just have to follow them. Do you want to get in trouble? I don't.
go ahead and give me a. I'll let you choose deception
Wait,
or
I do
intimidation.
have deception and intimidation, actually.
I was gonna assist with those. Like, hey, like one of these jerks wants to make a water slide. Just think, don't get started.
I'll give you advantage on a deception check.
I got
Gracie.
20.
20. Okay. So he goes, "Oh, this is the stupid. Fine, but you can't be seen standing around. I lost 3 men today. Instant statues.
I know. My friend, too, yesterday.
Go quickly. I
Okay.
don't just stand around." And then you suddenly see a beholder start coming around the corner. Yes, good job. I'll be over here. And you watch him just walk away as quickly as he can. And the beholder just kind of looks at you guys, sneers, and keeps on going.
Yes. Very good work. Let's go do
Find the water.
our
Find the
duties,
water.
men. Yes, absolutely. Find the water.
I can't believe you're the bard.
My skill is in performances, not lying, which is weird for me.
Would
That,
would that mean he's like aligning himself like with the beholder and necessity, or
To be honest, you didn't get a chance to really talk with him. The most you got was he seemed very, very
Scared.
afraid. And then when the beholder came, you actually watched his face get lighten a few shades. And then he immediately just kind of went off. And when you saw the beholder, when he stared at you, looking at a beholder in general is not a pleasant experience for anyone. But all of you feel this kind of chill run down your spine. Like, just the expression in and of itself is one of just pure, unadulterated hatred and disgust. And so it was a remarkably unpleasant experience, but it doesn't seem to have changed much of anything. So now you guys, after the beholder leaves, the hallway itself is, or the grouping of hallways that you're in, is empty.
okay.
So what do you guys want to do? Again, right now you are in kind of a living quarters area.
Right now, let's just walk
Are
in
they-
rooms. That seems to work with. That seems to be.
yeah, he's got to walk. Walk in. So is it just left or right type of direction once we get around the hatch?
You guys are effectively in a 4-way hallway that connects to about 3 other 4-way hallways that you can all kind of see in various places. So you're in kind of a grid system right now.
Can we see a direction on like where this farm area would be?
It's
Is
going to
anything
be
labeled?
That's 3rd floor.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
third
third
floor.
floor,
Third
yeah.
floor.
From where you guys are right now. Again, you didn't spend a ton of time on Voxus Landing before, but I believe the group, you guys originally, the first session that we had, you
Encounter.
guys got your
Yeah.
you guys got your jobs at Voxus Landing, didn't you?
And my
Yes, we
my
did.
deception failed.
No, your deception seemed to have worked.
No. The first time,
Oh yeah, the first time you guys met, yes.
epic fail.
But yeah, so you guys haven't been here a ton of times, and again, anytime you've needed to go to a higher floor,
There was a
it's
person.
normally done through the center pavilion. So where you guys are right now, you know, the closer you get to the center pavilion, the more kind of restaurants start popping up, just because the dock workers and everybody likes to go to the food there. The food that's closest to the center pavilion is the cheap stuff, but there tends to be a lot of it. Out here, you're kind of in the suburbs is effectively what it is. And you know that if you go all the way to the edge of this floor, you can start finding like hotels and things like that that would obviously have a lot of supplies, but they're also very, very heavily guarded normally. Though you have no idea right now. So if you want to go inward, there's a chance you're going to find lots of cheaper food. If you want to go outward, you're going to find more expensive food, but it's also going to be significantly more difficult to get into.
Yeah, I think the cheap stuff would be best.
I don't think we're trying to go eat though. I think right now we're just trying to find water, so it doesn't matter if it's cheap or expensive as long as we're getting what we came
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
as long as we're getting
I think
stuff
our
for
best option
everyone.
for most water is going to be up on the 3rd floor. So I'm getting up one more.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to
boy.
be able to collect a lot down here one at a time. Bottles of water. We got to find a bigger source and fast. I'm not trying to stay here till this death timer goes till we get epic fails.
Hey.
So yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and make me another group stealth check, unless you have another. Well, I guess I'll ask you. How do you guys want to try and move inward? Do you want to try and sneak your way there? Do you want to try to bluff your way in, intimidate people? Do you want to use magic? Like, how do you guys want to get in?
We're trying to decide what we want to do to get to the 3rd floor where more of the water is instead of try to hit the restaurants. So we're trying to figure out how we want to get up. Do we want to just go to the pavilion, or do you want to try to intimidate people to get up there? Do we want to find another secret passage? You're mute.
Well, we're gonna have to basically, however we get there, is only part of the problem. It's getting back out. So if we,
I know, but right now we don't even know what the water situation looks like to make a
Yeah.
decision on how to get out. So
I think we just basically got to bluff our way in, try to go in, and like we've been given orders, like we stated before.
yeah,
We could snatch something or other, like just make us look the part a little bit more.
get worker suits, jumpsuits.
Worker
That's
suits,
what everyone
jumpsuits.
seems to be wearing anyway. We're in living quarters, so I'm pretty sure we can go through this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Snatch a clipboard,
Something.
something or other there, and
Bavarian fire
But
drill.
what
As long
we're-
as we walk with intent and we don't get distracted, they won't stop us.
Jody, would I have
Kinda.
noticed a pattern of what everyone was wearing, or was everyone looking like just normal people?
For the most
When I
part,
look
they
through.
look like they're wearing the same clothes that you would expect them to.
On
You
this
haven't seen
layer.
any dock.
Level.
You haven't seen any dock workers up here.
Would we
so-
be blending in based off of what we're wearing, or do we need to?
Your clothes are cleaner than the clothes that you've seen here. Is the only real
Oh.
difference.
Okay.
That's surprising.
oh yeah, I should probably. Crap. Okay, Rett's maybe just like that. He's not even trying to hide it anymore. He just goes like he just does the Loki thing. Just kind of flexes his jacket, and it's like his suit turns into more of a sailor line, like loose white lined shirt, jerkin, plain cuff pants, just looking like more like a worker.
Okay, make me a concentration check.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, magic.
Magic.
Well, that's a suit. It's not a spell.
What are? How are you doing that?
It's his clothing.
Oh, you have like gloaming.
What's it called? Wait a second.
I can look.
Shift weave.
Shift weave. Oh, it's because it's effectively a magic magic
Yeah. Or
item,
is it just locked right now?
right? That is a fantastic question. Oh, god damn. I don't know if I just forgot that you had it or what, but this is super cool.
Yeah. I have notes on what each of my set clothing things are, but
Yeah.
because there's no default, like it's not like it wouldn't be a blank, because there's like it would be programmed.
I'm
5
gonna-
programmed looks.
I'm gonna say because it's not a I mean it's
Item?
technically a magic item, but it's just set things. I'm gonna say that no roll is required. It just works.
Okay.
So yeah, so you guys watch as Smegwick's clothes just kind of shoot. Have you ever done that for these guys
Yes.
before?
I've
On
done it once
accident.
before. No, it wasn't
And we
accident. I just kind of like fuck it, and he just did it.
Okay.
Every other
We all
time he
freaked
just
out.
every other time he did it, he walked behind a barrel or he walked behind a
Oh,
thing, and just
okay.
like it was just an immediate quick change. But now he's just like
So,
screw it.
You guys still are not completely used to the idea that Smegwick's clothes will just randomly turn into different clothes. So you guys watch, he's shoop, and he now looks like he's in a sailor outfit.
Alright,
That's
I've never seen this.
That's
Awesome.
cool.
Just trying to figure out how he could
Allie, you saw this. I
potentially
turned into like when I turned into the like, and he, like,
The green one.
and then he goes, "Fuck, never mind."
Cool. What about Rishi? What do you guys all want to do?
Can I just see if there's anything around just drape over or just to make myself blend in a little bit more, or all of
Sure.
us blend in a little bit
There's
more?
nothing kind of lying around, but again, there are various living quarters that you are right next to. If you want to try and open one of them, they all seem to be locked, but these are not. This is not the nice part of the station. These are not super high quality locks. So if you
Okay.
want to try and pick one, you can.
Okay. Is there? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll pick the closest door just to check and see.
I think if we have to settle by numbers kind of thing, like you and I, we kind of look like we belong. It's covering the himbo. We got a performer here that looks like maybe he might need to be covered up a little bit more. And we have
The baby dragon.
we have a adolescent child covered replete in leather armor and a friggin' sword.
Yeah, about that.
Okay. So go
At
ahead and
least
give
something
me.
for them. Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a thieves'
Tinker
tools
tool?
check.
Oh,
What
these.
is Peter wearing?
Peter is wearing just kind of a vest and shorts.
14.
He was not particularly happy to be stuck in that very confined space with all of you, by the way.
Yeah, his range would probably make that pretty hard.
So as you're sitting there, you're going, it's taking a little bit longer than you expected it to. But you feel yourself making some headway until you hear from behind you, "What is that?"
Uh-oh.
Crap.
Is it a beholder or a person?
A smaller beholder starts coming towards you guys as the clock clicks down to 7. He goes, "You don't look familiar to me. What are you doing with that door?"
I'm supposed to be looking for water. The door is locked. Can you open it?
Make a deception check with disadvantage.
Oh no.
19. And
With disadvantage?
I have to roll it again, don't I?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
18 and 19.
Oh nice.
What the frig?
Don't ask me.
Well,
Look,
I'm
guys.
rolling like me, so
I'm sweating.
he goes, "You are wasting time." And you suddenly feel your entire body. It feels like someone has just grabbed onto you, and you kind of get thrown aside.
Jesus.
And then you guys watch as this beam of kind of strange black particles goes and puts a giant hole in the door. "Look for it and then get back to work." You do unfortunately take
Damage.
4 points of bludgeoning damage as he throws you against a wall. But the door is unlocked. Most of it no longer exists.
Oh, I can't breathe.
You okay?
Yep.
Find out what work they want us to be doing.
And he wanders off.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Very much, sir. We'll have another one later, sir.
The door that has been opened, because of just how large the area that he hit, it actually opens up 2 rooms that are next to each other. And between the 2 rooms, you can find enough to create believable disguises for everyone without too much difficulty. So now you guys look a little bit
Blend
more
in.
like you blend. Where would you like to go next?
To the hospital.
Hospital is up on the 4th floor with mining supplies, or or 5th floor actually.
Mining supplies.
It's on the magic item deck.
Not judging. All right, guys, let's go.
Okay.
Do you think
Can't
those
keep
are the
using water
miners?
excuse.
Yeah, there's like 3. Miners, not miners.
You lost me.
Huh?
Everyone
Well,
go watch Galaxy Quest. It's amazing.
keep an eye out for anything, like any music opportunity. If we have to, like, we may have to snatch whatever we can.
Mm.
So,
Well, I guess we just gotta move fast all the time.
Yeah.
so you guys are heading towards the Center Pavilion. Where are you going?
Yeah, I guess the center pavilion,
Okay.
because that's the only way to go up, right?
So why don't you guys give me? I will let you choose. You can choose deception or performance,
It's deception.
and this will be a group check. So
I'm doing performance.
I'm doing deception.
I got 24.
okay, Krebs is doing fine here.
Bro, I don't need you guys.
Performance.
23.
23. Reggie's good.
22.
Right.
too.
Not
Why too?
14.
14. So yeah, Aoi, you're the only one that's just kind of feeling weird in these clothing, and they don't like you're so used to wearing clothing that is functional. You know, you wear armor that gives you movement, and you are in this just weird kind of billowy sleeved, like those old like Renaissance sleeves or whatever they're called that like droop
Hang down.
and that, and like you're in there, and like you still have your rapier, but it's covered under this weird kind of tunic type thing that doesn't fit you well, and you found a belt, but it doesn't feel right, and so everything about this
And
just
there's
feels
no
wrong.
place for my tail.
Yeah, and your tail, like you kind of have it. You tried like wrapping it around your leg or something to kind of keep it out of the way, but it doesn't work that way, and it never has. And so everything about this just doesn't feel right. The rest of you guys are like full on James Bonding it through this, and have no problem. You do meet quite a few different people, and you can see. Why don't you guys all roll me just flat intelligence checks to see what you guys kind of glean as you're going through this.
Natural 20.
Damn.
18.
15.
Okay, 18. You said 15, Spengrick?
15.
15K.
19.
19, cool. And what do you got for me, Kuku Crexney?
11.
11, cool. So, Aoi, with you just really not enjoying the garb that you're wearing, you're kind of hyper aware of everyone around you. You just kind of feel like people are watching you, just because of how uncomfortable you feel. But because of that, you start picking up patterns. One of the things you notice, first of all, is there's a lot of the people that you see that actually are carrying things are carrying effectively like living things. Like you see a lot of food being carried to various places. None of it is like cooked or prepared. It's just like raw, and it's not stored in a way that you would expect it to be prepared. Like you'll see veggies with like raw meat slapped on top of it, just like walking through. And then you also see people carrying things like lumber that is untreated, unprocessed, barely dead, to be perfectly honest. Like a lot of these trees look like they've been harvested relatively recently, and then other kind of biological things as well. You see plants, you see, and you do actually see at one point you can see them carrying body bags that have something in them heavy. You would assume bodies. But you don't see anyone carrying anything that's not kind of living or used to be living. And the rest of you see bits and pieces of that as well as you guys are kind of going through. Not a whole lot of people are talking at all, which is, again, another weird thing. Even in really bad situations, people tend to kind of chat with each other just to keep themselves sane. No one's saying anything.
Are the people with like food and lumber and stuff like that like heading the same direction?
Yes, they're all heading towards the center pavilion.
I had an idea.
Basically, before you say that, the pattern you see is people going away from the center pavilion aren't carrying anything. People going towards the center pavilion are carrying things towards it.
I'll go,
Well,
I'll go,
Maybe would I think they're like taking things to the beholders for tribute?
Theoretically possible. Without something to compare it to, you really can't do much more than kind of guess as to why they'd be doing that. Your limited understanding of beholders, because it's been such a long time since anyone's seen
Yeah.
it. To be perfectly honest, beholders are normally extremely xenophobic.
Oh yeah. They hate humans.
And so
Hate everything.
the fact that they're
Yeah,
kind of
true.
interacting with people
They hate
here
everyone equally.
Mm-hmm.
is really weird.
Hmm.
And you're not. You do know there are some older beholders that kind of learn to basically become like crime bosses and things like that. You've heard long times ago. Some of them would interact with the various sapient races. But yeah, they acted like crime bosses. They would ask for tribute, they would ask for gifts and things like that, and they would kill people often, and were doing it mostly for the power. They really enjoyed the power.
All right. Well, we need to carry something, it looks like.
Yeah, we don't want to go in there with nothing.
No. What if it takes us directly to like the top floor?
It doesn't matter where it takes us right now. We either need to take something to the center of the pavilion, see what's going on, try to follow this flow,
Okay.
or go empty-handed and make a run for it.
Well, do we need to go to the center pavilion? Do we have to go there?
How else do we get up? We have to get to the third floor. We're trying to look for water, unless we can find something here on the second floor, which is the restaurant depot. The water is probably going to be more so on the third floor, which is where we're trying to go. To get there, we have to go to the center pavilion.
I may have it. This leads to my thought. I had an idea.
Tell us anyway.
He's just gonna like just follow my lead real quick. I know this is a bit of a Hail Mary, sorry. And he goes over like, "Hey, you!" And he grabs the first guy directing for like, "We were assigned. We need a tinkerer to apparently do something with the plumbing on behalf of one of these other benefactors. You know where Bartholomew is?"
Ooh,
And he'll,
good.
And he'll give the description of Bartholomew.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a deception check with advantage.
Ooh.
Nat 20.
Finally.
Not high enough, unfortunately. Yeah. So
Oh,
he
yeah,
kind
fine. That's a 10.
he kind of looks at you and he goes, Bar, and he does not recognize the name at all. And you start giving a description.
Bartholomew
and,
Tinkerer, where would he be?
he sits there. He's like, you're looking.
Don't say that.
Oh,
Don't say that.
no." And he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm so sorry for you.
Oh no.
He's on the 4th floor, or he's on the 5th floor. Well, I'm not gonna get in your way. And you see him. What do you need?
How to get there?
How are we getting access there without pissing off?
Well, I mean, if they told you to go there, then that's where you gotta go. Here, this will make things easier. And you see him just kind of go over to someone, and he just kind of smacks him upside the head. And the guy goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And he's like, "I need that." And he takes this massive side of beef that has seen better days. You think at one point they were trying to dry age it, and then they took it out, and it is no longer dry aging. Goes, "Here, take this. If anyone gives you any trouble, just say that you're bringing it up for building materials." Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Thank
You
you.
have a wonderful voice, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
And you see him he looks back at you guys one more time, and you can just see this look of just almost despair in his eyes as he looks at you and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And he wanders off.
Okay, so it sounds like that floor might be really a pain in the ass, but at least it gave us access so we We can either try and go there, or we can try and use this to try and get as a means of getting to the third floor.
Bartholomew, the dog's name?
For the life of me, I can't remember, but I know who he
I
was
think so.
referring to.
Okay.
It might have been Bart. I'm trying to think.
I'll tell
Balthazar.
you.
Balthazar. There we go.
Balthazar.
It's a good biblical name. Who cares?
Okay. Sorry.
It's Bartholomew's the seller, and his pet is Sebastian.
Yeah.
Aww.
Because Sebastian has a friend.
Yes. Oh God.
Aww.
Yeah, Bartholomew. I was right, Bartholomew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Bartholomew.
All right. So, yeah. So you guys now have this kind of partially rotting side of a cow, which is probably close to 100 pounds, easily 150.
Right.
It's a huge bit of,
Oh,
of
right.
beef.
You carry it.
If everyone is carrying things, shouldn't we all be carrying a little bit?
You think I can carry that?
Let's all hold it together and act like we have to carry it as a team.
I can work.
Rise takes out
So-
his
so-
axe.
Staff it.
You're like, I know how to take this apart. Like, I can fillet this, and we'll have.
Do you guys want to go to Bartholomew, or do we want to just go to the water floor? On the benefit of going to Bartholomew, he might have an idea for us to get water out.
It also sounds like it's really shit.
But it
to
also
be
sounds like
there.
hell. Yeah.
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 So do you want to just try to go for
Maybe.
water?
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
finish
we
our
may have to stick
mission
for that.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're going to third floor. Take this big beef. Come on.
Okay. So why don't you guys
Beefcake, carry the beef.
Rai kind of blushes just a little bit.
Why don't you guys all give me
We
Yeah,
gotta be
deception.
stealthy.
Strength check, sure.
No!
deception or performance with advantage.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, I'm glad you gave us advantage.
Yep, same.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Yep.
19.
19. All right.
Good.
10. Okay.
22.
22. Nice. Reggie.
Hold on, my screen froze for a moment.
I rolled a 3 the first time, so I'm
There
I
very
you
rolled
go.
a 6 and a 10.
All right. 17.
17. Okay. So, as you guys are going and you're kind of carrying this semi-rotted half of a cow, you're going through, and again, no one's really talking. And as they see you coming through with this massive side of beef, you watch as people just naturally get out of your way. Crexley, unfortunately for you, as you're sitting there, your hand kind of shifts, and you just feel this really slimy part of the meat. And as soon as you hit it, there's just like a little pocket of something there that bursts, and you just get this waft of rotting meat. And you kind of leave the group for a second to kind of dry heave for a second, wash your hand off, and suddenly you're looking at another person who's just staring at you, petrified. And you're trying to figure out why he's looking at you, and you realize that he's looking past you. And
Uh-oh.
your allies have already kind of cleared the hallway, and behind you there is a beholder that looks furious. And you see him just go, "Rrrr!" And you watch again that black particle beam come flying at you. And you're a little bit kind of frozen in terror, and it goes straight past, and the person you were looking at before is no longer there.
I'm not even going to turn around. I'm just going to go walk fast with a purpose.
It takes very little time for you to get back to your friends. And it seems like the beholder didn't even really notice you. For whatever reason, that person had upset them, and now that person is no longer.
Let's go, guys. Fast. Please don't
Yeah.
die. Black
What?
hole.
Why are
Gotta
you
go.
Why are you covered in ash?
Gotta go. Come on. Long story. Not right now. Meat. Get out of here.
So, as you guys get closer and closer to the center pavilion, you start seeing more and more people, and it starts getting a little bit more crowded. And by the time you are in with like visual distance, people are no longer getting out of the way for you because there's nowhere to get out of the way from. You have basically joined a river of people that are just kind of flowing, and there's really not a whole lot you can do at this point. You are part of this flow. And as you come into the center, you can see the center pavilion itself is a pretty large area, and there's like there's tables on the ground floor because it's kind of a group hangout spot for people, and you can see. But where in the center, where normally there's just places for people to hang out, you can now see there is a very large grouping of rocks that seem to be kind of fused together. And as you stare at them more closely, you start to realize that it's not rocks. It is the various kind of biomatter that people have been bringing in, have been petrified to create this kind of grotesque statue. And on the very top, you can see 6 forms that are perfectly petrified. They are...
I'm guessing an Aarakocra, a human, a dwarf. Oh, shit.
Any of you that are familiar with the 6 barons would recognize them. And they seem to have been left up there as some kind of almost perverse warning and tribute to them.
Are all the barons there, or is any of them missing?
Fantastic question. There are, did I say 6 or 5? There's 5. I will describe what you see. So, I have to look at my notes here.
So there's barely anyone leading this thing right now.
So there is an Aarakocra, a fire genasi, a dwarf, an Eladrin, and a human. I would say, Smegwick, since you've been here before, you would probably recognize Baron Elise isn't there.
So either she made it out, or they have her somewhere else.
So you guys only have a few moments to kind of breathe all this in, because again, you are currently in a human river. And you are suddenly started to ascend one of the many sets of stairs as you're just kind of pushed along with people as they're moving up. And getting to the next floor. Again, these are really big floors. So it takes you, as part of this river, it's moving remarkably fast. So it only takes you about 5 minutes to get up to the next floor, where you see some people start kind of peeling off, and some people continue and start going up to the 4th and 5th floor and things like that. The line that you guys are currently in looks to be going to the 4th floor and higher, but you're right at the cusp of the kind of breaking point.
We need a ride to power us out, get us out of this.
No,
We gotta stay up here.
No, we finished our job. We are stopping at the 3rd floor.
We're on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, you're currently on the 3rd floor, and the path that you're taking right now is going to take you to the 4th floor.
So we need to jump lines.
Yeah, we need to get out of here because we need the 3rd floor.
So,
So how far? Where do we see the lines diverging?
you guys are coming up to the point in just a few seconds here where they diverge. And why don't you guys all give
Push
me
out.
intelligence checks?
Okay.
17.
Okay,
13.
13. Okay,
Oh, rolling better now with physical 21.
29. Okay. All right. 3. Okay. Reggie?
The bronze.
16.
16. Cool.
Beauty and the Bronze.
So, throughout most of it, you can start to see effectively anyone that's carrying larger items seems to be going to the 4th floor. Anyone that's carrying smaller items seems to be being pushed out to the 3rd floor. So, with that information, what would you guys like to do?
You guys
What are
want
our-
to drop?
I was gonna say, what are our possibilities of we needing this meat to get to the 5th floor?
I say we drop the hunk of me and go right to the 3rd floor.
We are on the 3rd floor.
We're on it already.
So we're trying to stay in the line that's staying and breaking off to stay on the 3rd floor. Right now, we are currently with the big slab of meat that we have in line to go to continue on up. So the line that's breaking off has smaller meat right now. Everyone is holding smaller objects. So since we're carrying a bigger object, we're likely to go up. what we need to do.
Yeah,
We may
yeah,
have-
probably chop it.
It's too late. We're in line. We have
Yeah,
a
I
couple
don't.
seconds.
Yeah, I wouldn't chop it anyway.
I was gonna say we could either we go with the flow or we have a right tear it, Captain America style.
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen in seconds. But
If you do, it'll be real gross. I
would-
promise you.
would we be able to still get out of line and put the meat somewhere? Could we see that fast enough to make that decision? Because if we need to go up, we're gonna need that meat.
If you try to break out, you're going to have to lose the meat in some way, shape, or form. You don't
That's
see
why
a solution to keeping the meat and staying on this floor.
that's why I said drop it.
Dropping it will be more obvious than
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to just switch lines with it.
Because literally everyone has something, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, again, there are a few groups like yours where it's multiple people that are carrying one item, and there's a few people that, again, because this is just basically a human river, there are some people that were just kind of caught up in it. So there's a few people that are carrying nothing, but they can't really get out.
Deeper.
We can okay. Well, yeah. So what Owie's saying, let's hand off to somebody else. We just break off.
Yeah.
It served its purpose.
Yeah, let's just focus on leaving.
Okay.
Should we put it in one of our bags so we can pull it out later if we need it? We
That's
have
true.
bags.
Yeah, but how much does it weigh?
Not
A-
over
a side of
50
beef won't
pound-
be-
Yeah.
If that thing weighs 500 pounds, that's a big ass cow.
Yeah.
The only issue with it is your bag of holdings at their largest are only 2 feet wide.
Right. That's like. Sorry, I didn't mean the whole slab that everyone is carrying, but like parts. That way, we still have things that we can
Go up with.
carry.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, you just have to tell me how you're going to make it smaller. So
Yep.
you can rip pieces off. You can.
You have your blade.
You guys
Do your
have
small
weapons
blade
on
quick.
you. I mean, Arai, I'm assuming probably
would
has
say
like
small
7
blade
different
quick.
weapons on her left toe or
Just
on
do a
his
quick
left toe.
small
but-
blade and put it in
I
chunks big enough to fit in
mean-
bags.
Rapiers were exactly designed for.
That's piercing.
Yeah, that's piercing, not slicing.
I mean, I
For the
got
most part,
dagger.
if you can get it minimum, if you can get it into 4 pieces, you can fit it into the bags. It's just as one big piece. It's too big to fit in it. But if you can minimum get it into 4 pieces, you can fit it in your bags.
Okay.
You just have to tell me how.
Dagger, carve it up.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
So who's going to be doing the carving then?
I can be if you guys can hold it, since I have the strength and can push through it.
Okay.
We got seconds though. Is there any way we can do 2 people? One way and one way?
I mean, I can actually handle a dagger. I've got a +7.
All right. Well, then there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, do one way, one way. That's that.
Go ahead and give me attack rolls from both of you with advantage.
16, 18, 18
Okay.
plus 7, 25.
18.
Okay. So you two just kind of look at each other and coordinate almost synchronized swimming styles of synchronization where you just kind of cut it. The rest of you just give me flat dexterity checks.
Okay.
All right.
through this really not aged well beat.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant cutting you guys have
Okay.
ever done.
18.
18, okay. Crexy, 4, all right. Reggie, 3, okay. So,
Oh wait, 19.
19, even nicer.
I dropped my meat.
Oh
So-
no.
As the clock ticks down one more step.
Oh my god.
Arai and Smegwick do perfectly. You are not pleased with the smells that you have unleashed, but you're able to not only get the thing kind of carved up remarkably quickly, but you're able to sequester it in the bag without anyone really realizing what it is that you're doing. The rest of you guys, you just start kind of moving and doing what you can to get into the other line, and suddenly, Crixie, you got a 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Reggie got a 3. So suddenly, as you guys are going, Reggie, you trip and faceplant. And in a crowd like this, face planting can become a death
Trampled.
sentence very, very
Oh
quickly.
no.
Arai, you instantly see what's
Snatch him.
happening and just kind of move your body to be in the way. But now you have caused a blockage in the river, and people are starting to take notice. Without thinking, Arai, you just kind of pick him up from under the armpit and just shoom, boom, and get him up. And you guys try to get moving. But one of the beholders comes down and looks at you and goes, "What are you doing?" And he seems to be focused on you guys just specifically.
The job
Pete.
that you wanted us to do.
You have made a mess! And he kind of points, and you can see, kind of really interestingly, the kind of hole that you guys made when you created the blockage is traveling with the rest of the people. And so you can kind of see that there is your hole. What should I do about it?
Hurry up and fill the hole.
I'll let you use deception or intimidation for that. Or persuasion, I guess you could use as well.
Cool, I'm gonna do that one. 'Cause I am surprisingly good at persuading people. I got a 20.
20.
Nice.
Not nat 20, just a 20.
Still nice.
Yeah.
I'm still rolling like me.
Hey.
So he looks at you, and you can see... you see a little bit of shock in his face, because you instantly start to realize people don't talk back here.
Oh god.
And after you say what you do and you see his reaction, you're like, ooh, maybe this is the wrong choice. You're, yeah, I probably should feel it. That sounds like a great idea. And you suddenly see 3 people nearby you just kind of raise up into
thrown
the
in.
air. And he hurls them. And you hear the sounds of bones cracking and things like that as they collide
God.
with more people.
You made a bigger hole.
There! The hole is filled. Maybe next time you won't make me fill it again. Now go!
Right away, sir.
Power walk. Move with purpose.
So you guys are able to get into the line that you want, and as soon as you get out, you start realizing what people are using the smaller things for. It seems like they're composting, but as you see them kind of putting them in these different compost piles, the compost is decomposing faster than anything you've ever seen in your life. They have effectively learned how to speed run compost. And so you see them kind of throw things on, and if any of you take a moment or two to kind of figure out what's going on, you can see that at each one of these very massive compost piles, there is what looks like a druid at every single one of them that seems to be casting spells. Every single one of these druids looks
Enchanted.
horrible. Their faces are incredibly pale. Their lips are
Oh
cracked
god, those
beyond
poor...
belief. Some of them, you can see like cracks appearing on their skin because it's just very dry.
Oh god.
And all of them have these massive bags underneath their eyes.
They're being forced to do this.
What would y'all like to do?
Well, on a positive note, if we get to water and we have it, we can say one of our tasks is to make sure their livestock is being kept healthy. Just gonna throw that out there.
Do we want to throw the meat into this?
Really?
No, I'm saying
No,
I'm talking
putting it
about
in the bag and walking away and pretending.
Yeah, we're
like we
holding
put
it.
in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know if we want to hold on to it or.
Yeah,
deposit.
hold on to it in case we need to get back in this line for any
All right.
reason. Can't hurt.
Looking around, one of the unique aspects about the third floor in general, it is almost completely open air. There are pillars in regular places, so again, the upper floors stay the upper floors. But it is just this kind of wide open state fair like thing. I don't know if any of you guys have been to state fairs that have like livestock competitions and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I
This is
have.
kind of what this looks like. You can see areas
Okay.
where they're obviously growing food and things like that, and then there's
Yep.
areas where livestock is and that, and then you can see all the way out to the edge. There are no walls here. You can see right out into
Outside.
the veil, and there are huge breezes coming in to kind of circulate the air, and every so often you will see these kind of spotlights above, which are literally, they have mirror systems
Fun.
that are bringing the light in to keep everything naturally lit.
Can we see where the water source is?
Yeah, fairly regularly you see these very large tankers that are kind of dotted all throughout this floor. And next to the tankers, you'll basically see really big tanker, and then smaller tanker, and then barrels, and then smaller and smaller things kind of stacked up near all of these tankers, because they do have effectively irrigation that they use, but they also transport water in smaller amounts for various reasons. So everything from massive tanker to real small things are in kind of piles in various places, but everything is open air on this floor.
Okay.
So what do you all want to do?
Grab a few barrels.
How big is not the big tank, the middle-sized tank?
Depending on which one you're looking at, you're probably looking at 500-gallon drums.
500 gallon. Then there's an elevator that goes down, right? Not just stairs.
There is a winch system that is used to get stuff up and down that is being used.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is we can get 2 of these barrels to roll. I can make something if we can find a place for me to do that. Get 2 of these barrels onto the system and bring 2 little bottles, something where it looks like we can feed other people if they need it, and say that's our job is to make sure.
Okay.
Will they care as much since they are
If it's
obviously
their druids,
fine
if it's their,
growing them?
that's fair, but like they're druids who are actually doing the decomposition. I don't know what it's being used for. There has to be some people they need to keep alive without killing off. And then our task is to make sure they're all alive enough to perform their tasks. I'm sure that's going to mean something.
Yeah.
And then while we're carrying these big ass barrels, they think it's because we're going around doing what we're supposed to. I'm just saying that, unless you want to try and throw it out the other side where the veil is.
So,
What?
Meg, we could just go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, did the druids like what they have been going about this day in and day out without any
Yeah.
rest?
Most definitely. Like some of them
They must be.
look about ready to drop.
Yeah, they did look super dehydrated.
Well, surely they must have some. Surely they must switch out some of them. They can't keep running them full pelt without letting them drop, and then having no means of replacing them.
I don't know. They seem kind of dumb that they might do that.
As you say that, Smegwick, you see
Oh, no.
pretty far off, you watch one of the druids drop. And suddenly, one of the beholders kind of comes over, and you see him place another druid there, and he just throws the druid that just dropped onto the compost pile.
Ah, shit.
Oh boy.
Helpful.
So maybe sees that and just goes like, ah, and he just goes into his journal. He just immediately starts scribbling some shit into his journal, just like he's just sort of hurriedly start writing some stuff.
So what would y'all like to do? I will say there are barrels that are specifically designed to, like containers, they're specifically designed to repel the veil, so they'll float like a ship does. A lot of the larger containers for water are designed to effectively be veil tight, so that a ship can effectively kind of tow them in if they don't have enough space on the ship itself.
The holders are around us that we can see.
From where you are currently, there's probably about a dozen in various places. The highest concentration of them are in the center pavilion, and the ones that are in the center pavilion do not seem to care about anything outside the pavilion. They're completely oblivious. The dozen or so that you can see actually on the third floor, for lack of a better term, are spread very thin. They're basically overseeing the entire third floor, which is massive. So they're constantly kind of going around and looking for druids they need to replace and other things like that. So they're frantic, I guess is the best term to describe them.
Did we see anyone coming down from the upper floors?
Not here. Again, if you take a couple minutes or a couple moments to look around, on the opposite side of the center pavilion is effectively the downstairs. So it looks like everyone goes up one side, and then you do notice the people coming down is a significantly smaller number.
Distraction on the upper floor idea.
Like they're the airport security system.
What would y'all like to do?
As our story, well, our story changed at all. We need to go grab the water, and we just need to go with what we can. And I say we just go back to the ship with what we can grab.
I agree.
Sounds like a plan.
So maybe he has his little sheet of paper. He's tearing pages out of, and he's of his own journal, not the special one. And he's like, let's just walk with purpose. If anything else, we're under orders.
We'll just say that. Just repeat it.
All right. So, are you guys going to head for, I'm assuming, one of the watering tanks then? Okay.
Yeah.
So getting there, again, this floor is not nearly as packed as the other one. Again, for the most part, people come in, they throw something on a compost pile, and then you see them kind of have to go all the way around so they can get to the down stairs. And then kind of start the whole process again. But once you get probably about 100 feet out from the stairs, it is significantly easier to move around. And again, it is just a giant open air area. So getting to one of the water places is not particularly difficult. And as you get there, I just need something to... I need to look at something so I know exactly what I'm looking at. Yeah, so a 500-gallon tank is...
Enough.
Well, I found one that I can buy for $1,300.
Yay.
78 inches by 48 inches by 49 inches.
So too big.
So no, it's like this big, and they're little drums. They're just circular barrels, and they look to be veil tight. So that's the 500-gallon ones. There are also 100-gallon ones, which are going to be closer to just kind of your standard barrel size. And then it looks like 50. They have 50 gallons, 20 gallons, and then just
Regular bottles.
water skins and things like that. So,
Okay.
and as far as you can tell here, no one's really looking at you.
Okay. Allie and me, Reggie and Crexney, we each take one barrel, because essentially we're just got to do it old school, and we're rolling it to wherever we need to go. Arai takes a bigger barrel, if you can manage that. We got to look like we're haggard and tired. We're being put to work because everybody else around here is too. We're under orders to bring water, which we're told to, and then and we'll just bullshit our way through that. Does it look like we can also get away with filling up the bags, or is that like...
It's mostly going to be a question of time. If you guys want to take enough containers, there are enough containers here that you can probably fill a bag of holding and a half with containers of water. And that would take roughly about 15 minutes to get all that stuff in there.
To fill 4 bags of holding, or just
To
a bag and a half?
do 1.5.
Okay.
There's not enough small containers of water to fill more than a bag and a half of holding at this particular one. If you want to go to other ones, you could definitely get all 4 of your bags of holding completely full.
Yeah, I was thinking we fill those and then we take some barrels and we
Okay. What I'm saying is that it's going to take a minimum of 3 different spots to be able to completely fill your bags of holding. So if that's what you guys want to do, you can do that.
I think it's what we're go. That's kind of the goal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, unless you guys have another idea of how you want to do this as secretively as possible, I need stealth checks from everyone.
Well, I was going for deception if we can, if we're stopped along the way. If we can bluff our way through to acquiring the water, because obviously people are going to see us with barrels.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would also possibly argue that for this specific kind of deception, maybe we might have the choice between deception and performance.
What particular performance would you be putting on? If you want to use performance, I just need to know exactly how do you see yourself performing that would make you less likely to be noticed.
Honestly, the act of trying for us to, even though we as
you look despondent. You look despondent and haggard. You just want to get through the workday.
Despondent, haggard, tired, not making eye contact, head down, just making myself look extra beat up, both externally and internally.
I'll give you performance for that.
And
anyone deception.
Anyone stops us, that was what he was. He ripped his paper out and he was going to have something if he needs to read it off.
Okay.
Right.
For the rest of you guys,
I was gonna follow Reggie's lead.
so you're going to do performance as well.
Yeah, and she's probably gonna go the extra mile and feign crying.
Okay.
Ooh.
Crexy
Lot of
and
energy.
Deception 16.
Deception 16. Okay. Arai.
It really won't matter, so I can go out of the way, but let's make it sound fancy and do performance for 25.
25. So Arai goes
15.
both ways.
All right, always.
Performance 23.
23. Okay. Aoi, you said 15.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Spegwick.
Not 20.
Net 20. Okay. So, You guys go to the first place and you start filling up your bags of holding as nonchalantly as you can, and the fact that no one stops you, no one questions you, you think it should make you feel better because you're getting exactly what you want, but all of you just feel worse. It doesn't make sense that no one is stopping you or anything like that. No one's questioning you or anything. So after you fill your first bag and a half, nothing has happened. No beholders have looked at you. None of the workers have gestured or anything like that. You seem to be in the clear, and for some odd reason that unsettles you. When you move to the next one, similar thing happens. You fill up your bags. No one seems to care. Even one of the beholders flies past and doesn't seem to do anything. And you start feeling more and more unsettled, but you only have one bag of holding left that is currently empty. So you move on to the third. And while you are there, I continue to roll like me. While you are there, you're kind of filling things up, but you're actually right next to one of the compost piles, and you can see it's kind of hard to see who any of these people are because they're so kind of ragged. But as you get closer, you start noticing that this druid is significantly larger than the other ones that you have seen thus far. And the closer you get, the more you start realizing that the reason he is so large is not that he's a particularly large person, but that he has a shell that takes a massive amount of space. And the closer you get, you realize that the turtle druid that you saw at the Ford operating base is there, and he is on his absolute last leg. You can see him focusing and pouring as much magic into this as he can, but he seems minutes away from dropping.
Smegwick quickly, he's scribbling something at the very end.
Okay. What do you guys want to do?
How close are we to him?
Within 20 feet.
Just grab him. Just grab him. There's a Hail Mary we gotta do. If I go with it, I might need some support.
Okay.
Grab him like
Okay.
you're telling him, come with us.
So who's going to grab him?
Right.
All right.
I was
So,
just
right.
like,
All right. As you go over and you kind of put your hand on him to kind of move him, you see his muscles tense, and the staff that he's kind of supporting himself with immediately swings towards you, and you instinctively just go, "Tsh!" And he looks at you and he goes, and he watches his face kind of softens for a moment. You see the briefest hint of a smile, and then you watch as his eyes just start tearing.
Just go with us. Just go with us. Just go with it. Just go with it.
You've
Just
got
go
to
with
get
it.
out of here.
No,
I'm
just
gonna
go with it.
catch you. And he tries to rip his staff
We
away
know.
from you.
We know.
Nope.
Shut the
Arai is
fuck up.
there, Smegwick.
Oh, sorry.
So let me finish this with Arai. So Arai, you've got his staff, and you can see him trying to pull it away, and he just doesn't have the strength. He wouldn't have the strength normally if you really wanted to hold it, and now you can just feel how weak he is. He's just get out of here. They're gonna kill you if they see you trying to do something.
They're trying to kill us anyway.
He looks at you, and you see him cough. He's like, you don't need to be making me laugh.
Would if Arai uses bolstering magic for him, would that do anything? for
Most
him?
definitely it would.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Perfect. Then Arai's gonna use bolstering magic.
There's not a roll or anything you do, is there? Or
No, I just touch them and they get either a D3 or an attack roll, or they get to get spell slots.
okay. So you watch as he's sitting there, and you can see kind of the pleading in his eyes. No, just go. And you just gently
touches
place
his
a
hand.
hand on his hand, and you feel the magic start flowing through you. And as soon as it starts, you instantly feel kind of like pins and needles and daggers go through your entire body. Magic seems to be not a whole lot of fun to cast here, but you fight through it, and you watch as his expression lowers a little bit, and you see him grin just the slightest bit. That's not something I've ever seen before. And he just kind of looks at you. Things are about to get very bad. What's your idea?
To get us out of here.
How?
I'm not the brains of this operation.
And you just see him kind of look up and go, they're testing me. They're testing me.
How far is Smigwick there? Are you guys coming up towards us, or are you gonna?
I
stay
thought
there?
I thought we were there with you, but
Oh.
I'll say we are if we can be now. 'Cause,
Sure. As a group effectively starts to form around this druid, two beholders kind of notice something is coming on, and they start heading towards you, guys. And you see him kind of place his staff down and goes, looks like this might be a little more fun than we were expecting. I feel good.
Alright, takes out a piece of meat.
He looks at you and he's like,
Megwig's reads his papers like, fuck.
as the two beholders come closer, one of them turns to you and goes, "Why have you stopped?"
And Megwig's like he's carrying his hand like, you insignificant nut scrapes of troll filth. Bring me water. Bring all the water you can carry and more. Do as we desire, or else your life will be worth even less than it is now, that you will know pain beyond your imagining. Bring a druid as well. It does not matter. Bring the first you can find. They will be replaced. Repeat what I've just told you. Yes, even this and this. Excellent, you worthless fucking idiots. Now go!
Make me a deception
Make me a
check
deception
with
check.
disadvantage.
I know it.
With disadvantage? What I just
It was
told?
real.
I just
You wouldn't have
performed.
gotten a deception check if it wasn't as brilliant as it was.
Is there any way we can?
No, I can't.
Help
I
him,
can't use
like-
magic. I can use.
If you could come up with a way that you think would help him sell the lie, absolutely. It would change it from disadvantage to a flat roll. You just have to tell me how you're going to help him.
I got a 12 right now. Can you help me?
I'm trying.
I rolled a 12. I rolled a 12.
How can we
how
help
can we-
him at this moment? Oh my gosh, I blanked out. Now I'm starting to get nervous.
I said go with it. Literally, just sell anything.
I'm gonna.
He's an idiot. Don't even listen to him. We just have to hurry up and get out of here.
I'm gonna
I mean,
say
she did insult me. And these guys are
I'm gonna say
down for
that's-
insulting.
That's not quite enough to convince these beholders that you not only do you have orders from a beholder, but you have orders from a high-ranking beholder. So I'm going to give you guys another minute. If someone can come up with something that you think will sell this, otherwise I'm going to have him roll the second die for the disadvantage.
Literally say anything else. Just
I don't know. I got nothing. I have no idea what's going on.
I have one thing though. If it doesn't work, it will be very bad for us.
It's
I
Already bad
of
for
course,
us.
of course. Then again, I'm not sure if it's even going to work
Time
because
is
you
clicking.
already.
Time is ticking. What you want to do?
I cast friends.
Can't-
no magic works.
Can't
You have two
magic.
beholders.
Damn it!
The beholders.
Literally.
I will say, the beholders are not looking at Reggie. They're looking at
They're looking at
Smegwick.
me.
So if you want
Oh.
to cast it, I do need a concentration check.
Well, I'm just wanting to make sure I don't have something else here that I just have forgotten about.
Time is ticking away. Make the roll or don't.
Either that or just say something.
Again, are you gonna make the roll or you're not? You guys have run out of time.
Yep. Do it. Just why not?
Okay, what am I
Everybody's
rolling?
always ready to fight.
Constitution saving throw. It's a concentration check.
Constitution. Ah, god damn it. Oh my god, it was almost a 3, but it rolled to a 16, so 15.
All right. You start casting the friend spell. Instantly, your brain feels like someone has just jammed a
Dang.
spike into it. It is excruciating, but you fight through the pain. You focus, and Smegwick, you watch as the expression of one of the beholders changes slightly. You get your flat roll. So what do
Okay,
you
so-
add to the 12?
9.
So what's the total?
12 plus 9, 21.
21.
Thank you. I'm not good at math right now.
My brain is also panicking right now, so yeah,
I know.
similar but different.
Gosh.
So it's an opposed check. I rolled a 9.
Go. Well done, Reggie.
As you see one of the beholders
Yeah, I'm just over here eating a shit
Yes.
sandwich.
angry, and you see one, you see the disintegration I-beam start to charge. The other beholder goes, turns to him and goes, "What are you doing? You know who sent that?" "No, I don't know who sent it. They lied. Of course they didn't. If we kill them, we're dead meat. We'll become building materials." "Fine." And they both run away.
Oh, let's go.
The druid turns towards you all and goes, "You all are nuts."
Yes.
Greg was just frozen.
don't
He's
say.
not even moving. He's just like,
The eye twitching, just
"We've got about 15 minutes before they come back. What are we doing?"
Running.
No.
Moving this water. All the
"Oh,
water
God,
we
we're
can
grabbing
get,
water. We need to go."
Go.
And going down.
All right. I'm going to tell you right now. A druid going down is going to get a lot of people's attention.
Do you have to look like a druid?
The last of my spells are... Wait a minute. And he turns towards you. "I'm going to need some help on this. You mind holding me up?"
No.
You watch him focus. He slams his staff into the ground, and you start hearing his bones move
Oh,
inside his skin. You watch as his
Configuration.
entire body just starts kind of morphing and changing.
Well, shape.
And suddenly, standing in front of you is a honey badger.
oh,
You are adorable.
And he just kind of lifts his hands up in this kind of up.
Yeah, Mariah picks him up, just like,
a pet, a real pet.
he's not a pet, he's a druid.
He has to go. He
Fuck
has
outta
to.
here.
He has to go in someone's pocket because each of us have to take a barrel. Well, 2 people will take a barrel, or I'm going to push a big barrel.
He grips onto your shoulder, and you watch as he basically just kind of attaches
Oh.
himself to
Like a
your back
backpack.
like a backpack.
Let's be.
And he kind of
Right.
hides underneath your shirt. So now you look like a hunchback.
Aw.
Eh.
Yeah, dude.
Accepted.
Sanctuary.
And
Go, go, go!
roll.
I'm friggin' terrified. We need to use this as fuel. Go!
Go, 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 go.
Go.
So getting back to the other side, you're not really harassed by much of anything on your way back. Still rolling like me. And again, once you get into the line, you are in a river. It's a significantly smaller river, but you're in a river. And so it takes you all the way to the ground floor. However, the river itself is going away from the docks that you need to go into. And there are people everywhere. So how do you guys want to get the last probably about 600 feet you need to get to go to basically the abandoned part of the docks?
Any beholders are near us
There are beholders everywhere.
that we can
Yeah.
see, like close to us.
That can see us
The
everywhere.
closest ones are probably within about 60 to 70 feet of you. They're everywhere, just flying everywhere. I would describe it as chaos if it wasn't so orderly. There's so much happening, but it's all with a purpose. Kind of beehive-like. Like if you just look at a beehive that's
Yeah.
working, it looks like chaos, but it's very orderly, and everyone
Yeah,
has a
and-
purpose.
Yeah, and the Beholder Dragon is their queen.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Continue moving with purpose.
Okay.
Move with a purpose.
Thing with purpose, and then I think what we have to do is like we time it when we have the pocket to like, and we just veer off to where we need to go into the ship.
So
I think it's not like gonna be like a timing situation.
we
All
push
right.
ourselves to the edge of the river as far as we can get before we make the break.
All right. Then what I'm going to need from you guys is going to be a group check. But I need 2 people to make dexterity checks, 2 people to make charisma checks, and then 1 person that can do either dexterity or charisma.
Jesus.
I'll do charisma.
Okay.
I'll do
I have
dex.
+1 on both, so it doesn't matter.
I have dexterity.
All right.
+4, so 14.
All right. So we have, just so I understand, Aui's doing dexterity, Reggie's doing charisma. We still need 1 charisma and 1 dexterity.
I can do a charisma or dexterity, whoever field needs.
I
what do
got
they
We
need?
have
+1 on
advantage
both, so
dexterity.
Okay. So, Arai, do you want to do the second dexterity?
Because you said we needed 2 dexterities, 2 charismas,
And then a 5th one that can be either.
either one.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm not screwing someone else over.
No,
Okay.
I got +1 in both, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'll just charisma.
Okay. So, Smegwick, what do you got?
18.
18. Arai?
Hold on. 17.
17. 10. All right. So, 1 more roll.
No, damn it.
Did it tick down?
The
Yes.
clock ticks down to 5.
Oh no.
As you all get together, you realize that you need split-second timing and purpose. You start moving with the crowd. You see where you need to go. You're looking around to see when a beholder, when there's kind of a gap in the beholders. You go when you think you have one. You're almost to the opening, and you suddenly hear, "What are you doing?" You are 10 feet away from the door that leads to the empty section. What would you like to do?
Shit my pants.
Moving because we don't know if he's talking to us.
Okay? The rest of you?
Yeah, I guess we all have to do it together.
Yeah.
If not, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Move with
So you can-
purpose, I guess.
So you continue going, you go through the door, you hear, "What are you doing?" You are now in the empty area, but you can hear the beholder seems to be coming after you. What do you want to do? You've got about 1,000 feet to freedom.
Reggie, tuck around the corner and then do the message thing like you did before.
Aha! I am quickly going to duck around the corner. And
Because we made it inside.
yeah, we have. And then if I recall correctly, I believe it was specifically sending that I used against the beholder itself.
Okay? So, again, we're going to start with a concentration check.
All right. And that was, you made me roll Constitution for that one, right?
So a concentration check is a Constitution saving throw, and you have to beat a DC 10 or half the damage you take that causes the check. You're not taking any damage, so DC 10 Constitution save is what you have.
Constitution save.
Do you have any game inspiration?
No.
That is a 6.
Okay. As you try and focus, it hurts so much you're not able to get the spell off. The beholder is coming closer. There are quite a few places here that you can attempt to hide. You can attempt to book it. What do you all want to do?
Well, he sees us, so I don't know if booking it's a great
Well,
idea.
you went through a door, so you have broken line of sight with him right now. He can't physically
Hiding.
see you, but he's about to come through the door.
Hiding.
Okay? Aoi wants to hide. The rest of you guys?
I mean, last ditch effort. He just I just watched Reggie have the mother of all ice cream headaches. Like, I'm just going for hide.
Okay. Why doesn't everybody give me dexterity assisted stealth checks?
Okay. Dirty 20.
Okay.
4.
4. Gotcha. Arai? Arai, what did you get?
17.
17. All right. Reggie?
13.
13. Smegwick?
15.
15. All right. Realizing this guy is coming, you ditch the large barrels in places where they won't look strange, and you all go and hide. The beholder comes through. Where did you go? You can feel the hatred flowing off of him like radiation. Waves of it keep hitting you every time his eye looks over in your direction.
Can I sense like where he is? Like,
You guys can
Like-
see him. Like you can see as he comes in.
Throw a marble.
I was like literally. I'm handing
Throw
Arai.
it.
I'm handing Arai a ball bearing.
He comes in. You see him use his telekinetic beam to lift up something that luckily no one is hiding behind and just throw it across the room. There's this huge kind of clatter and bang as it knocks over things. I know you're here. I'll rip this entire room apart.
He is. How far away is he from where we are?
From when you guys scattered, let's say he's within about 30 to 60 feet, depending on which one of you we're talking about.
If I can, I would like hand Arai the ball bearing, and I look at Reggie, and I just like.
What do you guys want to do?
And hopefully, like if he's turned away from us, maybe that gives. I don't know if that. I don't know. Is it is it ambient? I guess that's what I want to clarify on something. Like that's the reason why he has to make concentration checks.
There's something going on that's making casting spells very difficult.
Okay.
So that's what. There's just a field that's effectively
Okay.
suppressing magic. So that's what the concentration. That's anyone that casts a magic spell has to make that concentration check.
Okay.
It's the reason when Arai used her ability, it's why it hurt, or him, sorry. When Arai used his ability, it's why it hurt, because he was tapping into magic, but he wasn't technically casting a spell. So he didn't get the full brunt of it. It was just uncomfortable for him. For any spellcaster, it's like getting an instant migraine. And if you can focus while you're having a migraine, you can cast the spell. And if you can't cast the spell.
We're down by the shipyard.
Yeah, you guys are in
Like
the
right where
docks
our
right
ship
now.
is?
You guys are in the docks. Your ship is it's on the other side of a door, and the door's about 1,000 feet away.
If I may also suggest, Rexy, I know with your tinkering, you can make something that makes noise.
I don't know if am I by anything that I can tinker something in to make the right.
You can just
Well,
whip
there-
something up, like right? As a,
there,
as a
Think I
There are
have to
enough
build
things either around you or that you just carry on you. You being an artificer and a tinkerer, you always have a little bit of something. And again, your artificer magic, if we go back to kind of the inspiration for the character, your artificer magic is done through calligraphy supplies. So effectively, you kind of draw magical runes on things that animate them and modify them. That's how your artificing works. So basically, you would just need enough kind of raw materials to draw one of your magical runes on it to turn it into what you want it to.
Can I make it something that looks like, I don't know, an animal or a purse? Not a
Not
person per
something
se, but
that
something that's
There's
can
an
move.
ability that you have that I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But if you give me a couple seconds to get to your character sheet, I will tell you exactly what it does. But it basically allows you to create little gizmos and gadgets and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I was going.
like
That's-
a wind up, like a.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
look at
what
my
is it
character sheet.
called?
I also have a shot in the dark.
Sure. What's your shot in the dark while I'm looking for something?
I'm winter right now,
Okay.
and if I phase step, I get to use, and they fail a DC saving throw, then they become frightened of me and have to get as far away as they can.
Okay.
We have to fail though. What happens if they don't?
Describe what you're going to do to scare him. Like, how do you envision this looking, and what causes it to be scary to anything, not just the beholder? How do you envision this?
So, when Arai face steps, so just like when he rages, how like all of the emotion kind of drains from his face, and there's just like this. I
Cold,
don't know, like I was
cold,
about to say, yeah, this cold like
fury.
emanating. Exactly.
cold
And
fury.
like suddenly just having that pop up behind you or pop up next to you, and you kind of get that same sort of feeling of like there is now malice behind me, and so
Okay. I'll
or that feeling of like when you just get instantly dropped in freezing water and you weren't expecting it, and your whole body kind of just locks up because it's
Sure.
so cold.
what's the save I gotta make?
Wisdom, you have to beat a 16.
Wisdom 16. All right.
If we're if we're not going with the other one, were we gonna try and do the noise first?
Well, I've made the roll, so
No.
Too late. I'll pet it. If worst case, fuck it. I've always wanted to touch a beholder anyway.
so all of you guys are trying to figure out what to do. The beholder is getting closer and closer. Arai, who are you hidden closest to?
I don't know.
To be fair, I
Hey,
was
Reggie.
saying I was going to hand off a ball bearing.
That's true.
All right, so
It's
you and Smegwick are hiding really close to each other, and Smegwick is taking a ball bearing out, and he's kind of giving it to you. And you watch as Arai's expression changes. You see the kind of determination that you've seen all, and then everything goes away. And you just see this kind of acceptance of what's about to happen. And part of you wants to stop him, because you start realizing exactly what Arai is planning to do. Arai is going to sacrifice himself. He's going to get out, get the attention. And he knows how bad this is possibly going to go. But before you can stop him, you watch as Arai just kind of looks at you, nods, and then disappears. And in front of the beholder, this flash of light happens, and Arai stands there, muscles bulging. This look of pure cold fury, with a stare that can cut through plate armor, is there. The beholder sees this happen literally right in front of his eye. And you see him get angry for a moment. You see him charging all of his beams. And then suddenly you watch as his expression starts to change. And you just keep staring at him in mid-air. You can feel kind of the fury of the cold from your winter heritage just start to come out. You start hearing kind of a tinkling sound as ice crystals start to form on your skin. You can feel your tear ducts start to freeze as your eyes become stone cold. You feel kind of present. The rest of you, as you're watching this, Arai is just hanging in the air, but behind him, you can see this strange icy being start to form, and it gets larger and larger. You watch as these massive fangs start to grow out of this toothy maw. You see these crazy serrated claws start to grow out of its hand. You see the eyes burst into this cold, icy flame. And for the first time you think you have ever seen, you watch a beholder feel fear.
No. Oh, my soul.
And you watch
I
as the
thought you were about to get turned
beholder
into stone.
goes at about face and runs as quickly as it can,
Ah.
slamming the large door, the large garage door type thing behind it. It actually goes and disintegrates the counterweight, or the chain holding the counterweight that keeps that particular door open. And you guys see the ground beneath it cracks because it's this massive stone door.
Of course. Of course it is.
And
Megwick is holding the badger that Arai would have handed.
yeah, right. The
Drop
badger
off.
would have just been existing there because you can't take someone with you when you phase step.
Yeah.
So the badger is just floating there going, the fuck? So Smegwick just catches it real quick.
Oh,
And you can see the honey badger's like, the honey badger does care. Honey badger cares. Honey badger very cares.
A whole lot.
Um,
Gosh darn
in the
it.
next couple
Oh.
seconds, you guys realize that while that door will stop most people, that door will not stop a beholder with the ability to disintegrate things. So you book it back to your ship, bringing all the water along. And as you guys leave, you are far enough away to see 3 beholders come out, and they start arguing amongst each other, and 2 of them go and disintegrate massive holes in the beholder that you scared, and it falls to the ground in pieces.
Ooh.
Well, damn.
Unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for
We live, motherfuckers!
the year.
I don't have to roll a different character.
As
you're about to get turned
always,
to stone.
again, I do upload all these to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/TrainerJody. Like I said, I also have a brand new in-depth review for Candela Obscura, and I also have Character Builder. I'm building characters from Fabula Ultima to kind of prep for the campaign that I'm going to be running. So I hope you guys all had fun. I thought this was a really cool way to end the year. And I will see all of you guys next time. All right. Next week is the final episode this year of Legend of the Three Kingdoms, and then the week after that is Session 0 for Fabula Ultima. So stay tuned. Otherwise, bye bye.